Woke up late, hit the bell, markets open, straight to hell. Leverage high, nerves are fried, but I'm in too deep to bail. Shots are bleeding, red tsunami, bought the dip, hello tsunami. One more contract, double down, now I'm hanging by a thread. I was chasing tickets like they owe me rent. Now the broker's knocking, saying pay your debt. I was dominating, but my hands got wrecked, and my P&L looks like a fucking mess. I was one bad trade from a margin call meltdown. Lost it all fast, now I'm spiraling down, 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 down. One dumb bet, now I'm out of the game. But I'll be back next week, still ain't learned a thing. Took a loan, maxed the bet, thought I'd ride that rocket jet. Now my balance looking like a post-crash cigarette. Saw the news, bought the hype, should've known it's all a grift. Now I'm baggled in the stock like it's my only Christmas gift. Tried to hedge, got wrecked, tried to pivot, lost the bet. Took a swing, caught a knife, now I'm drowning in regret. Told myself I'll play it smart, just one more and then I'm through. Now I'm outside in the rain, screaming please just break even, dude. I was chasing tickers like they owe me rent. Now the broker's knocking, saying pay your debt. I was dominating, but my hands got wrecked, and my P&L looks like a fucking mess. I was one bad trade from a margin call meltdown. Lost it all fast, now I'm spiraling down, 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 down. One dumb bet, now I'm out of the game. But I'll be back next week, still ain't learned a thing.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, a.k.a. the #1 live trading show, a.k.a. the worst trading show on this side of the Mississippi. It is a beautiful Thursday, September the 4th, and we have some fun stuff going on today beyond the fact that I'm once again dressed like Fat Barney. I'm really just taking on my thick era. The way that Taylor Swift can have her various eras, I'm getting into my fat one, except that this era has been going on for quite a while, potentially my entire life. I don't know. I just got like some of my Whoop stats, like after wearing it for a while, it tells you a little bit about your health, and apparently I'm missing all of mine, and I should be doing something better with my life. Something about like working out, dieting, stop abusing drugs and alcohol, going to bed on time, getting enough rest, like all these like weird ass suggestions that I've never heard of before. But hey, that'll be something that I can figure out after today's show. That is not your problem. That's my problem. I don't mean to put it on you. I'm just kind of intrigued by the numbers of how unhealthy I allegedly am. So 94 sleep score. Shut up, dude. That's crazy. How are you sleeping that well? My sleep is so bad that sometimes it doesn't even know if I slept. It's like, what are you doing? 94? Stop bragging, dude. No one likes a braggart on it. 94? What are you, rested every morning to run a marathon the next day? Jesus. That's impressive. That's impressive. Anyway, sorry, I digress. We got some jobs data this morning. We have even more jobs data tomorrow. So jobs, breaking news, we're getting into that. We have some Trump drama news as it relates to the Fed and what's going on with the trade war. Is it legal? Is it not legal for the reciprocal tariffs? We're going to be getting into that as well. And then, of course, as we're a little bit closer to the biggest casino in the world going dingity ding 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 and letting all of us degenerates in, I'll be breaking down some of the stats, facts, and figures, the key numbers you need to know for the day. Captain Condor is back. We see some interesting positioning. We're going to be diving into all of that. Before we get to that, though, if you haven't haven't already, it would truly help me out if you could hit that like button, and don't forget to turn on your notifications. Don't forget to subscribe. That type of engagement truly does help get this show in front of other people so we can grow that degenerate Goonie trading community. Obviously, it's 100% free to you. It's not going to cost you a dime to hit the like button, to hit that subscribe button. And like I said, it really does mean the world to me, the team, and specifically Piper. It's how we play for her Meow Mix. So just want to throw that out there to everyone. And with that being said, we should get rocking on the day. Stock futures rise ahead of U.S. jobs data. What is this? T. Rowe Price shares rocket higher after deal where Goldman will invest $1 billion in the asset manager. Well, I believe the intern at CNBC probably should have updated this. Yeah, S&P 500 futures are a little change after weak ADP hiring data at a Friday's jobs report. So here's the big headline thus far of this morning. Labor market growth slows dramatically in August, with U.S. adding just 54,000 jobs according to the ADP. So a little bit of a snapshot of where we are. Obviously, yesterday we popped until about 11. Then we dropped like a hot sack of potatoes until about power hour. And then power hour proved to have a lot of power. And actually, this value is now off. Where did we actually close? 74. They must have had to do a little bit of an update there. Where did we close here? 5707. Okay, so one of these is right, one of them is wrong. Anyway, we powered up. Post-market, not much going on. Pre-market, really starting at 4 a.m. till around 6:30. Quite a bit of strength, and now we're giving it back. As of right now, the SPY is trading at the high from yesterday, and the Qs are pretty much in between the high and the closing value of yesterday. The small cap sector not really doing too much, and Bitcoin actually taking a hit from 112 down to 110, currently trading at 111. So overall, from power hour to now, it's kind of bullish, but more so recently, we are getting a little bit of a downtrend, which kind of relates to the job numbers we're getting this morning, because we got ADP and the initial jobless claims. We'll be getting into that, but it also relates to some of the drama related to the President Trump administration seeks swift Supreme Court review on tariffs. Treasury Secretary in court submission says lower court loss is already hurting trade negotiations. Trump asks the Supreme Court to quickly hear appeal to save his tariffs. President Donald Trump asked the Supreme Court to quickly accept the rule on his effort to overturn lower court rulings that found most of his tariffs were not legal with respect to the reciprocal tariffs. Basically what he's pushing for, and this is how slow the wheels of justice turn. They're asking for a sped up one, and they're not even going to hear that till November, if they hear it in November at all. Trump has made tariffs on imports from other countries the central plank of his administration's trade policy. The fact that a lower court judge can rule this to be illegal when the president made the decision with his administration, and he's the commander in chief and he got a majority of the votes, that actually kind of blows my mind, that a lower court judge can come in and be like, nah, that's not legal. That feels really strange to me. Anyway, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit ruled that Trump overstepped his presidential authority when he implemented the steep levies. You know, if he can't implement tariffs, who can? Anyway, as I alluded to before, even if it's sped up, we're still not going to probably hear about it until November. So please keep that in mind, especially as things are kind of in flux with the quote unquote trade war, with monetary policy, with inflation, with the trade agreement. So various things to consider there. But don't you worry, Treasury Secretary Bessent, and I don't know if this is his hero picture or his villain picture, but I don't know, crazy picture of the Treasury Secretary. Anyway, according to him, White House has backup strategy if Trump's tariffs are overturned. So he's trying to calm people down, whatever. We'll find out soon enough, but this seems as if it's going to be a pretty important narrative that we got to pay attention to moving forward. Trump asked U.S. Supreme Court to uphold his global tariffs.
Tariffs are vital to our country, and just so you know, other countries use them on us, but I just use them a lot better. We're in a much better position. We have trillions of dollars coming into our country. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be a very poor nation, and we would be taken advantage of by every other nation in the world, friend and foe. We're not going to let that happen. And we have a very big case in the Supreme Court. I can only say this. Our country has a chance to be unbelievably rich again, but it can also be unbelievably poor again. If we don't win that case, our country is going to suffer so greatly.
What's the backup plan, sir?
But I think we're going to have a big victory. Even if you look at the people that brought the case, they're foreign-oriented. They're foreign. Countries have taken advantage of the United States for so many years. And I started with China. You know, last term, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs from China. But when COVID came, the last thing I was going to do is we're going to tariff France and Italy and, you know, others, Spain, when they were doing so badly. But now we made a deal with the European Union where they're paying us almost $1 trillion, and they're happy to do it. You know what? They're happy. It's done. These deals are all done.
I don't know if they're happy to do it.
I guess we have to unwind them. We've done deals with Japan, with South Korea. We've done deals with many countries and others to come. And if we didn't have the power, prestige, and dignity of tariffs, and I used them wisely, and people respect America again, and we've become a rich country again. The money coming in is incredible. And again, they use them on us. If we didn't have them, they would use them on us, and we would have no way to fight them. We would be a third world nation. So I think it's one of the most important cases I've ever seen go before the Supreme Court.
All right, so there you have a little bit of an insight to Trump and his commentary on it. Like I said before, and I just want to reiterate it because I think it's pretty important. Once again, I'm not a lawyer, but from a legal perspective, it does seem crazy to me that a lower court judge can come in and say presidential-based tariffs are actually illegal. Like, if he can't just say them, who can say them? So I find that interesting, but it sounds as if the earliest we're going to find out more about it is in November. Also kind of related to this, because remember, with the trade war, you have to consider inflation. With inflation, you have to consider the Fed and monetary policy, and you also have to consider the fact that right now, Trump, whether you like him or not, is making some chess-level moves, some strategic moves to basically control the entire set of Fed governors. To have the majority, there's 7 of them. He's about to most likely have 4. 3 things to watch for at the confirmation hearing for Trump's Fed nominee. So this has nothing to do with Lisa Cook. This has to do with Adrienne Kugler. She stepped down last FOMC meeting. So that means that the sitting president gets to elect a new one, gets to select a new one, I should say, and then it's going to be approved by the Senate committee. That's happening today. Once again, this is a different situation than the Lisa Cook situation. If Lisa Cook gets the boot, then he gets to select an entirely new person. So once again, this relates to, I guess, a different root of the entire narrative, this system that we have going. But anyway, today they're going to be hearing for Stephen Miran. I should make it clear, him getting approved, the approval is pretty much guaranteed because of the votes. It's dominated by Republicans, obviously Trump being Republican. No one is like thinking, oh, wait, there's a real shot this guy is not going to get approved. So I want to be very clear on that. But there are still kind of interesting questions, maybe worthwhile to listen to, whether Republicans are willing to publicly defend the Fed's traditional independence or signal acceptance of Trump's norm-busting approach to monetary policy. So whether you believe it or not, before this, the Fed was considered to be an independent political situation, like independent of politics. And right now, with what's going on, it is very evidently straying away from this idea of political independence. How Miran, the guy who's being nominated, explains his views on Fed independence, gives his past calls for greater presidential control over monetary policy. So they're going to be going to him basically saying, the Republicans in general, the markets, the mass are going to be listening to, do you want the Fed to be independent? Then they're going to be drilling this guy with questions of, are you independent or not? And then last but not least, how he reconciles the president's desire for lower interest rates with his previous warnings about inflation risk. Remember, those are at odds with each other. The dual mandate of the Fed, price stability, aka inflation, is at odds with a strong labor market. Generally, you're not getting those two together. You don't have super low inflation and then also an absurdly strong labor market. That's the dual mandate of the Fed, to keep those two things in balance. Ideally, we stay at 2% inflation and a pretty strong job market. But right now, we're in a situation where inflation is kind of hanging out at 3%, according to the PCE readings. And yet, as of what you're about to see, we're getting some weak labor market signs. And then that brings up a lot of the concerns, and this would be super far away if it were to happen, and obviously fingers crossed it doesn't, but that brings up concerns of stagflation, this idea of having high inflation with a no growth or a negative growth type of an economy. Wall Street strategists see investor concern on Fed independence. So that's going to be the big theme of today's hearing. If you want to listen to it, we can listen to it. I assume it's going to be a little bit boring. Maybe if nothing's going on in the market, we will tune into this particularly. But anyway, it starts at 10 a.m. today.
The Senate holding an accelerated confirmation hearing this morning on Stephen Miran's appointment to Federal Reserve Governor. Myron saying in prepared remarks that he intends to preserve the independence of the institution. Joining us now in Washington, D.C. is Bloomberg's Tyler Kendall. Good morning, Tyler.
Hey, John. Good morning. Well, you said it there. We're expecting Stephen Myron's nomination to proceed on perhaps an expedited schedule with this first step today, his hearing in front of the Senate Banking Committee. And while the spotlight will be on Myron, this is also giving us a rare glimpse into how Senate Republicans are balancing their past calls for Fed independence with their current support of President Trump and what many of them have said is his right to voice his opinion when it comes to monetary policy. Now, Stephen Myron's going to have to make a credible case to lawmakers that he's the man for the job, and we sort of got some insights into how he's going to frame his messaging. In prepared remarks that he's expected to read at the top of the hearing, he says that he will preserve the Fed's independence. You read one of the quotes there, but I'll highlight another. He said that independent monetary policy is critical for its success. But the thing is, Myron has previously called for greater presidential control when it comes to monetary policy. In a paper written last year, I know you spoke about it at the top of the show, he advocated for some perhaps more controversial changes, including shortening the terms of Federal Reserve governors and also subjecting the central bank to the Congressional budget appropriations process, something that just isn't done. Now, for context here, Myron was confirmed to his current post in a 53-46 vote earlier this year. That means that 4 Republicans would have to vote against him in order to sink his nomination. And at this point, that doesn't seem likely. And Democrats can see to us privately that they realize that there's not a lot of procedural moves that they can take that would delay this vote until after that September meeting. Now, John, I did catch up with a senior Democratic aide to Senate banking leadership yesterday, and they pointed out that there are other nominees that are going to be at this hearing, but they told me to expect every Democratic member to gear their questions towards Myron exclusively.
Most likely going to happen. And remember, pay attention to the date. It is September 4th. The reason they're trying to do this, and when I say they, I mean the Trump administration, in an expedited fashion is so he can be involved in this September vote. There's a big emphasis from the administration to get this guy in the hot seat so he can be basically quote unquote live by that September 17th meeting. Speaking of the meeting, we did get some jobs numbers this morning and they were not good, which is exactly why you were seeing the odds of a 25 bips rate cut basically trend towards 100%. As of right now, according to Polymarket, there is an 88% chance of a 25 bips rate cut at the September meeting. And looking at Kohrs, there's now an 87% chance. Just yesterday when we were checking it, it was the low 80s to mid 80s. Now we're at the upper 80s. And I assume after tomorrow's jobs report, we're going to probably be somewhere closer to the mid 90s. Very quick side story related to Polymarket. Polymarket set for U.S. launch after getting green light from the CFTC, according to the CEO. So right now, we know that Kohrs been the main player, but it looks like a new kid's about to enter the block. He's not really a new kid. Polymarket's actually bigger. It's on the global scale, but until now, it was not allowed in the U.S., and it looks like they're actually going to be getting it in the U.S. Online prediction betting site Polymarket has been cleared to launch in the U.S., the platform's chief executive has said. Polymarket has been given the green light to go live in the USA by the CFTC. Credit to the commission and staff for their impressive work. This process has been accomplished in record time. So once again, this is all from the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which oversees obviously all futures trading. It oversees Kohrs, and now it's going to oversee Polymarket. What is this? Pulte refuses to say where he got the Lisa Cook mortgage fraud tip. I want to make my thoughts on this very, very clear. When it comes to Lisa Cook, like whatever, if she committed fraud, she should not be in her position. I think that's pretty clear. But also we're in the U.S., so you are innocent till proven guilty. As soon as a court of law can prove that either she did or did not commit fraud, well, at that point, then we can make our decisions. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, I wanted to be clear that this guy's a fucking asshole. Does anyone actually like him at all? Have you seen his fucking ramblings? Have you seen how he talks? Have you seen how he interacts with the world? This guy is just a fucking asshat from the word go. And at first you like listen to him talk, you see him interact with people, and you're like, oh, you're kind of that like asshole who grew up rich, really detached from reality. And then you look into it and you're like, yeah, that's actually exactly what he was. He basically became rich because of his grandfather's company, has never had to put in one day's work in his life, and just runs around the world thinking like that's how like we all operate. The guy is such such a little fucking twat. Anyway, my thoughts on him aside from the Lisa Cook thing. Like I said, if she committed fraud, kick her out. If she didn't commit fraud, let her stay. Like, it's honestly that cut and dry in my mind. As we're talking about asshats in the world of politics, check this out. Ban on congressional stock ownership gains momentum with a new bill. Lawmakers introduced a new congressional stock trading and ownership ban in the House that combines several similar bills. Obviously, there is a group, but right here have not thrown their support behind any particular bill, but there's a couple people who have their own versions of it, and it's kind of an interesting combination in all reality. Members who oppose the ban argue for forcing members of Congress to sell their stock will result in fewer worthy candidates who are willing to run for office. I've thought about this a lot, and I truly believe I've come up with the best solution, because that's a real concern. If all of a sudden people who, like, you can't have any ownership whatsoever, well, people are going to be like, well, financially, it's just not worth it. Maybe they don't care about that, whatever. Then there's other people who are like, no, let them be in the market, but they just have to buy the S&P 500. They're allowed to invest in the overall market, like that's it, or maybe bonds or something like that. That's another solution. It does get hairy, though, because, for example, we all might be yelling from the rooftop, Nancy Pelosi should not be trading. And you're right. The issue is she's actually never traded. Nancy Pelosi herself has never actually traded. It's all under her husband. So all of a sudden, we have to start to think about spouses. You have to start to think about immediate family members. Like, what if you are a politician and your kid wants to work in Wall Street? There's all these like convoluted things. Like, what happens if you are a sitting politician and you don't have any stock, but then you get married as a politician and the person you married has stock? Do they have to keep it? Can they sell it? There's all these like secondary questions. And I truly think that I've thought of the perfect solution, like not fucking around or anything. Like, I really think this is the most fair way to do it. First of all, if you are a sitting politician or have an immediate family member, no day trading. Like, I don't care. I get whatever. Maybe your spouse wants to be a day trader. Maybe your kids want to be a day trader. Sorry, that's just going to come with the office. Right away, immediate ban, no day trading, period. For you or immediate family members, no day trading. Also, for you and immediate family members, and I know this is going to be a little bit of a hot take, I think they should all be able to trade. And I actually don't even care what they trade. But I would say this, for you and immediate family members, for you to be able to trade, I think that it has to be filed the day before the trade executes. So if you want to trade today, no, you can't. You file the trade today, September 4th, and it can be executed the next day. I think all political trades, politicians and their immediate family members should be able to trade, but it should be filed and publicly available the day before the trade is executed. If it is not filed and publicly available, you're not allowed to trade. I think that's the easiest way to do it, where it's all public information before they could take advantage of whatever they want and the rest of the world knows about what's going on. Because right now the system is that they are publicly available, except they have 45 days to file it after the trade. And the way the system works is technically it might be another 45 days before the system updates. As in right now, politicians and their immediate family members can trade and it's quote unquote above board, and us, the public, might not find out about it for 90 days. So because of various things to consider of who you marry and what your kids want to do, and I still think that maybe politicians should be involved in the stock market because I want them to know what's going on. I think it's a little sketchy when they're betting against it, but I kind of want them to have a little bit of skin in the game and whatever. I think the most fair and transparent way to do it, once again, is for them to file the trade and it gets executed the next day, but it is not executed from them or their family members unless it is publicly available for everyone on the entire planet to see. I truly think that is the most fair way to approach this situation. I've spent way too many hours thinking about it, and I truly believe that there's actually no better solution than that one right there. Just the world needs to know before the trade is executed. And like I said, a specific ban on day trading, as in you can't get in and out on the same day. I think that is whatever. At that point, if your family member's like, but I want to be a day trader, well, I don't know. Tough tits. You just want to trade off their info, Matt. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. I mean, not all of them are good. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. But I think it's not just I want to trade off of it, because technically I could trade off of it now. They put them out. Some of them put them out relatively early. It's more of that. I think that's the most fair, transparent way to approach the situation. All right. Anyway, back to today specifically. At 8:15 this morning, we got the ADP non-farm employment change. As you can see, came in lower than expected. Initial jobless claims came in higher than expected. Those are two weak numbers. Oh, also, just so you know, we do have information at 9:45 and also at 10 a.m. today. So that's going to be happening when the market is actually rocking. Labor market growth slows dramatically in August, with the U.S. adding 54,000 jobs when they expected quite a few more. So they were off about 33%. And then the initial jobless claims coming in higher than expected. Remember, coming back to the Fed and this whole dual mandate thing, the fact that we're getting weak labor numbers is going to kind of influence the Fed to be like, do we clamp down on the economy too much? Do we need to take our foot off the throat of the job market and let some jobs come back? Remember, the other thing they have to balance out is inflation. If they do that, inflation will most likely tick higher. So they're trying to balance those two things out. But because we got these weak numbers this morning, that's why you're seeing the odds on Polymarket and Kohrs increase for the 25 bips rate cut. Obviously, tomorrow we have even more important information. That's going to be the unemployment rate. So that's going to be the most impactful jobs number. So I just want everyone prep for that. It comes out an hour before the market opens. But that's exactly what the shift is that you're already seeing this morning. Now, in the Discord today, we had a very interesting conversation of like, okay, is this good? Is the fact that we had weak job numbers, thus increasing the chance of a rate cut, is that going to be bullish for the market? And the honest answer is it might, but it also might not. So when it comes to rate cuts, if you look at them historically, after a long pause period and you get the first rate cut, you can bucket it into two different events. And sometimes on the rate cut, the market pops. Other times, the market drops. So if you look at why we have two very distinct reactions on the first rate cut, it's not generically bullish. It's not generically bearish. Like I said, there are two clear buckets of how the market behaves. And those two buckets are basically the market's interpretation of why we got the rate cut. Did we get the rate cut because the models are basically now in balance and everything's calm and the Fed did its job? Because if so, those are the times that we have the bullish reaction. But if we're getting a rate cut and the market's perception is because something underneath in the economy is far worse off than they are letting on, thus why they're cutting the rate because they don't want us to go into a recession or a depression or stagflation or something like that, that's when the market actually drops. So this upcoming rate cut is going to be a pivotal moment, but in terms of how it's played out historically, it's all because of the market's perception of which way we're going to go. And there are two very, very distinct reactions to it. So actually, that's a good thing for you guys to talk to your favorite AI system about of like, hey, can you bucket these two for me and tell me the similarities and the differences between the two? Because when you split it up, you're going to realize that it all averages out to pretty much neutral. But on the individual events, we actually have quite a bit of bullishness and quite a bit of bearishness. So of course, when you average it out, it ends up becoming nothing. But in terms of those buckets, it's actually kind of impressive data. Relating to all this, shout out to me, Kevin here. Highest layoffs since the thick of the Great Recession. So the jobs market, at first, when we're getting some weak numbers, people were liking it. The market's trending up. They're like, okay, cool. Things are coming back into balance. We're going to get some rate cuts. Money's going to be cheaper. That's why the Russell was running. But now we're kind of getting into the territory of how bad is the jobs market? Highest layoff since the thick of the Great Recession outside of COVID. So we're kind of like, it's like a gradient where we want to push it where jobs weaken, but not so much. And right now we're getting to the point of, did we tilt it too hard? And then obviously on top of this, I'm just talking about the ADP numbers, but also this morning, initial jobless claims came in higher than expected, another weak print. With respect to individual equities, I just want to call out Broadcom. It reports after the market closes today. This is the second biggest semiconductor play in the market. AVGO is the ticker. You might want to be watching Broadcom today and really after the market closes and we hear from their earnings. If you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter, macros.locals.com, 100% free. I break down what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events, and probably most useful is the seasonality of each day, which brings me to today. Historically, over the past 27 years, the Bulls have only won this day 39% of the time. This is seasonally a pretty weak day. And over the past 5-ish years, it's gotten even weaker. So from just a pure, like, hey, how has this one day performed over the past better part of 3 decades? The Bears have won this day. If you want to use this information, great. If you don't, all right, you don't have to use it. I'm just letting you know how things have played out historically. Also, in terms of the key levels this time around, this year, I would say the most pivotal level on SPY, the ETF tracking the S&P 500, is 635. Right now, we're on the top side of it, so it's going to serve as support. But if we snap that, look out below. The same, I guess, argument when it comes to the NASDAQ, the biggest gamma level is 560. Watch that. We are on top of it. If it snaps, watch out below, but right now it'll probably serve as support. The other thing you should know on the day is Captain Condor is back. Captain Condor is playing a call credit spread at 6475 and a put credit spread at 6415. Write those down. Obviously, I already have them marked out. They're going to be very important levels. That's pretty much the transition choppy zone of the day. 6475 is the call credit spread. 6415 is the put credit spread. Obviously, above that, my target would be 6,500. Below that, my target would be 6,400. So today, I'm expecting kind of a muted day because tomorrow's the big day today. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., an hour before the market open, that's when we will be hearing the unemployment report. So today, I'm looking for a little bit of scalping, a little bit of premium selling, and really, I just want to survive until tomorrow. And on that particular note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all, play responsibly, and if not, have fun. Remember, it's just money. You can't take it with you when you go. So right now we are opening above the high from yesterday and quickly getting this downside gap fill and then the closing value. So the odds of hitting the high from the previous day when you gap up are very high. So if you took that trade out of the gate, congrats to you. That was very smart. And then also even hitting this closing value at 6448 is also very high. So watching this, but overall, the generic pictures, we are within these bounds. The Captain Condor bounds. If you don't know what a condor is, it is the combination of a call credit spread, which is an under bet, and a put credit spread, which is an over bet, as in this player to the tune of 12,000 contracts is betting we will conclude the day within this 50-point range, 60-point range, 6475 to 6415, playing about 12 to 13-ish thousand contracts, creating quite a bit of positive gamma. Remember, when we have positive gamma, do not think bullish or bearish. You should think mean reverting. When anyone says to you positive gamma, never, ever, ever, ever think, oh, that's bullish or oh, that's bearish. What you should think is, oh, if we go up, market makers are going to sell. Oh, if we go down, market makers are going to buy. It's mean reverting. And negative gamma is more of your trend following of like, oh, if we break out, like we have a real shot of going. So right now, the SPY is dancing around right above the high from yesterday. The Qs are in between the close and the high from yesterday. So let's just let this open up, see how things really play out. Do we have any interesting movement? Meta is already ripping this morning, up 3%. And then Avago, which has earnings today, is up 1.5. So these are the biggest gainers on my watch list as of right now. Bitcoin losing a little bit of its footing. We'll see how that one ends up playing out. Obviously, I have the flow for you. Let me reload all of this just so we can see the flow. Generally, I want a little bit more data before I can really identify what the trend of the day is. Obviously, this is all from Spot Gamma, whether you're tracking Captain Condor, looking at the flow of the day, this all comes from Spot Gamma. Remember, you can get 80% off the entire platform pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And on top of that, they are rolling out an entirely new tool right now called Flow Patrol, and you could actually get that for free till tomorrow, the 5th. So if you want to check that out, 100% free. Check it out. If you want access to the entire platform, remember 80% off if you use that link pinned to the top of chat and in the description of the video. And other than that, we're just kind of waiting. One of the major things I'm watching is the range that we've created in the NASDAQ, in the NQ. Whenever I'm trading on these futures accounts, that's 100% what I am trading is NQ. Just so you guys know today, I made some improvements, or I hope that they're improvements, to my Icarus trading system. So we're going to see how that plays out. Should be trading on these 5 take profit accounts, and then I plan on manually trading all these Apex accounts. So we're going to see how that really gets going today. But overall, I'm kind of paying attention to the post-market and pre-market highs and lows. Obviously, those are just going to be key levels that people pay attention to. So we started off kind of weak. We did not break this trend line. We're getting a bounce. If you are right now, for whatever reason, swinging NQ, my target would probably be 530. We saw a high there late last night around 10 p.m. and then early this morning around 6 a.m. So like I said, if I was catching this pump right now, my target would be 530. And if I had multiple contracts, I'd be scaling out at least some there. If I only had one contract, that would probably be my target on the day. That's pretty good money from this pump. And then I would move on with my life and like just try to avoid being, I don't know, Well, the Qs just took out the high from yesterday. So the Qs just took out their high, and we're still making that pump. Like I said, about 10 more points, that's where I'd be putting my first profit target. I don't have this position right now. I want to be clear with you. I'll show you right here. I'm not trading anything at the moment. But if I were trading, if for some reason out of the gate I took a bullish trade and I was looking for a target, like I said, around 530. And actually, what did we just hit? We just hit 26, 27. Are there a lot of people thinking the way? Yep. Surprise, surprise. A lot of people right here. You can see the heat map above. Those are sitting passive sell orders targeting 530. Why are they targeting 530 without me looking at it? Because they have eyeballs. They can see where we got clipped in pre and post market, or pre-market today, post market yesterday. There's a reason why I called out 530, and it's just all right. We're about to hit it, but and maybe you get rejected there. Maybe it follows through. I have no idea, but boom, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's the target. Called it out. 530. Pretty easy. As long as you literally have the capability to see where we've been rejected before. That's it. Boom. I would have locked in at that point if I caught this breakout trade. I don't like to trade this early in the day, but I know some of you, especially in the chat, trade right out of the gate. And at that point, I would be... the way I would manage it is going to be dependent on how many contracts I have. If I had one contract, I would be taking my profits off there, or I would have a very aggressive trailing system, maybe trailing it by like an ATR or something like that. If I had multiple contracts, of course, I would scale out one there, and then I would lead some others ride using a recent like wick as my extreme. So in terms of how exactly I would handle it, it depends on how many contracts I have. But right there, yeah, that was a pretty evident one. Now, the real question is it going to be able to hold this? If you did the exact same setup yesterday, looked at the pre-market high, you could see that we broke out of it around 10:30 and we hung out for a bit, but by 11:20, we were actually breaking into it. So this might be a rejection area, hence why I was like, oh, that's why I would just take it there, because what if this is just a little fake out, breakout type of a thing? So I'd be watching that one pretty intently, honestly. Pretty intently.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Huh? Oh, hang on. I messed something up. No trade went through. And I think I just missed the trade. I actually tried to throw a short in at 30, but nothing went through. Because it went way too quickly. Way too quickly. That actually would have been a really easy scalp. This is why you got to mark out those key levels. This is exactly why you got to mark out those key levels. Yeah, so I was marked. That's what these horizontal lines are. I wanted to see that push above it. Thus far failed. If it can hold this recent low, I think it has a shot. It gets a little bit more concerning if it breaks down this trend line. Let's see. That's a little bit of an overextension, maybe a little bit too extreme. So let's watch this trend line. All right, so new trend line, just kind of watching some of this. Where did that hit? That was the dip at 9:30. A little bit more extreme relative to the 8 p.m. low. Let's see how this plays out. We did just take out this recent low at 9:34. If it keeps coming down, that's not so. It's one thing if it's a little fake out here and then we bounce right back up. But geez, if it takes out this cluster, that's going to be an issue. If the market does not bounce before this 90 level, because you have support at 500 and then you have plus or minus 5 points from 90 here, but see how it was like dancing around for a bit. If the market basically says, no, this is not equilibrium and we crack it, yeah, then the very evident next watch is this downside trend line. I tried to go short here. I was just way too slow to pull the trigger on this failed breakout. I was just going to go for a couple points and I would have made some decent money, but we're going to find out. We are definitely going to find out. Shit. I was almost too afraid. That's the second trade I just missed that I could have had on the day. I was about to do it. You guys saw me. I was about to do it, and I just didn't have enough balls because I wanted a little bit of a larger pop. A little bit of a larger pop. All right. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, so we tried to break out, got smacked. The SPY still within its bounds. Captain Condor's all the way up there. I'm still looking for a test of 6448 specifically. We got a bit of a rip from 32 to 36. So we had about 4 minutes of bullishness. You're seeing that kind of perfectly in Broadcom, a little bit of Meta, and now we have a bit of weakening. So the SPY did get its downside gap fill. There was no gap fill on the NASDAQ, but we pushed and it just did not like that. Like people very clearly use this as a selling opportunity. And I know they use it as a selling opportunity because look at all the aggressive selling that occurred when we got up here. We pop, and then boom, they use it. Ever since, I mean, literally perfectly at like 935, 936. Remember, the green circles are aggressive buying that actually hit the tape, and then the red is aggressive selling that actually hit the tape. So we ran right up to where a lot of people are like, and that's a lot of passive sitting sell orders. And then people started to mark it out and boom, 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 to the point we cracked this, we cracked that, we're below the point of control, and now we're back all the way to VWAP. So quite a bit of selling. Well, first we had a decent amount of buying, but now more selling, and you could even see how it's hitting up. Jesus, are we net positive or negative? Okay, so we are net positive on the CVD right here. Holy shit, that's a lot of selling. Quite a bit of selling at 510. I'm curious to see if this will take it out or not. I'm curious if we're going to take this one. Look at that. That's 1,000 contracts. That's fucking insane. That's a big order. That is one big order up there.
Order submitted. Order filled.
That is one big order.
Order submitted.
Holy crap. 1,010 contracts. Wow. That's size. That is definitely size.
Order filled.
All right. I just got my fill, 200 per account on the manual. So the 150K accounts is something I am manually trading, while the take profits, these are all purely algorithmic. These are all purely Icarus. So the take profits, the 50K accounts, I'm basically continually refine Icarus day over day over day because we've been flying far too close to the sun. And then I'm basically scalp trading these 150K accounts. Basically scalp trading, and we are coming up to a real breakdown level, folks. A real breakdown level. All right, we just snapped this trend line. Let's see. So we clearly have a lower high, and we might be having a lower low here pretty soon. Let's see how it reacts to this. Let's see if this is a little bit of a dead cat bounce incoming here. We had a nice push all the way up to the pre-market high, got rejected, vomited all the way down to the trend level, but we have not taken out this low quite yet. I'm curious if we will. It is around 457, and it looks like we are making that attempt right now. So at first we started off market open, higher highs, higher lows, lasted for about 5 to 6-ish minutes, and then lower highs, lower lows. Obviously, I took this big breakdown trade right here. Push, a little bit of a pop. I was patient. Could have held on to it longer, but hey, I'll take 200 across 20 accounts. That's not bad. That's 4K. 4K locked in. Only 12 minutes. Only 12 minutes. Here's the thus far the flow on the Mag 7, looking the exact same as price. We popped for about 6 minutes. Now the delta is getting hit, so those are perfectly in line today. The SPY is a little bit more messy. Pop, drop. So no clear trend yet on the S&P 500. A very clear trend, a reversal there on the Mag 7, and looking at the NASDAQ, flat to now actual weakness. So SPY is doing nothing. Mag 7 recently looking weak. NASDAQ looking weak all day. Remember, pay attention to Captain Condor. I'm going to leave this up today because yesterday we started to see some interesting bets where they actually like kind of rolled up and closed out. So I'm going to keep checking on this roughly every 10 to 20-ish minutes to see if any new big plays get thrown on, because over the past couple days, around 9:50, 10 a.m., new big plays have been thrown onto the market. So we're going to see how that one plays out. But Avago's getting hit. We're watching Avago today, second biggest semiconductor play. It's a top 10, top 15 stock in the world. It reports after the market closes, so probably worthwhile to see how this one, not more important than, yeah, the behavior today is important, but obviously in post-market, that's where it gets actually important. On Ninja, there's an indicator called prior day open, high, low, close. Cool. You should use it. I feel like that would be a good one. Are you liking the 150K accounts more than the 50K? It depends on the type of trading that I'm attempting to pull off. Very, very much depends on the type of trading that I am attempting to pull off. With certain strategies, yes. With other ones, no. I think it's kind of like the argument would be to use the right tool at the right time type of an argument. We're seeing as we get into remember, there's an announcement at 9:45. We are getting the data is about to drop, basically, is what I'm saying. Where the ISM non-manufacturing PMI and prices right here about to come out at 9. Or no, sorry. That comes out at 10. S&P Global Services PMI comes out at 9:45. So we're about to get a little bit of data. We just got it. Are they bringing on our boy Rick to talk about this one? Obviously, the market Kohrs sues to block U.S. administration from killing offshore wind farm. Okay.
Yeah, and I do think that we're at this moment where suddenly, if you have some celebrity, if you look at Signet was saying when you have Kelsey proposing, that spikes diamonds, and when you have a very controversial ad in terms of what was really meant by jeans versus jeans. It didn't matter. People were going to the stores.
All right, fresh high.
The American Eagle has disappointed
we did
for
have
so
lower
long
lows and lower highs, but we just made a fresh high.
Cowboy.
Do you think, has it exited, though, the meme category? Is it about more than that now?
They're talking about
I think that you get people into the stores. Maybe they like the stores for a while, but
beat on
it's
earnings,
episodic.
huge gap
We don't
up
want
of
episodic.
30%.
We want something that has staying power. I mean, not that they're ever going to be TJX or anything.
Huge gap
look, Gap.
of 30%.
I mean, now Gap is up 10% from where Richard Dixon allegedly had a not great quarter because he introduced his cosmetics stopped trading at a conference. And I just think that people are excited. If there's something exciting about retail, then people are buying it, including the fact that the Macy's point system for Bloomingdale's, you're feeling down, you have a lot of points, you go get a dress for free. It's like, he called it retail therapy.
You know, as long as we're in fashion, the Wire's reporting that Armani has died at the age of 91.
Man, he changed everything.
The guy who
really
made Armani
If you were
died?
alive in the 80s.
Oh, my God. And then you see the international football coaches, and you'd think that, but some people watch international football, like my wife watches it because she doesn't see the ball. She sees the players, and then she sees the coaches. And Armani changed a lot of the world.
Yeah.
You go to Milan, you stay at that Armani hotel.
Oh, yeah. Meantime,
Does
Dow with
Jim
some
need to
moderate
tell us
gains here up
something?
25, getting some services PMI. Let's get to Rick Santelli. Hey, Rick.
There's our boy.
Yes, these are August finals on the S&P PMI service and composite, and we're losing some ground here. What was originally reported at 55.4 for both of them gets downgraded. For the service side, down to 54.5, which goes from the second strongest number to now we're comping to June where we're just a whisker under 53, and the composite moves to 54.6 from 55.4. Also, the weakest just since June, but it really is a downgrade. And the initial reaction in the markets on the interest rate side was a little bit of buying, pushing yields down, but it's leveled off. Most of the volatility
There's a new
was this
call
morning
credit
on
spread
the
thrown in at
ADP jobs number,
95.
which came in a little
Right
bit
here.
light.
This is brand
which kind
new,
of put the
a
low
10,000,
spike on
brand
rates.
new.
If we look now at
Got
a
added in the
4.18
last 10
10-year,
minutes.
that's down 4 basis points.
Someone
and it
sold the
underscores
6495.
how
They're
Jolts
betting we
changed
close
the
below that,
landscape yesterday,
adding
coming in
positive
on the
gamma.
weak side and turned what was a seller market pushing rates up to a market of covering in front of what will be tomorrow's important job report and next week's super important
Order
CPI
submitted.
and PPI reports. Squawk on the Street will return after a very short break.
Order submitted. Target filled.
All right. Second manual trade just hit 300 on the day, 200 to 300. I've traded twice. I took that breakdown trade. I took this breakdown trade. We're retesting this trend line. Squawk on the street will return. Okay, so report came out at 9:45. Little bit of a pop. 3 minutes later, we are seeing dumping. The Mag 7's getting hit. The SPY's actually holding better than I thought it would. Is it the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ's getting fucked. Oh, dude. Brother. The NASDAQ is getting wasted right now. Yeah, that was quite the delta sell-off in the tech sector. Putting in the lower high, cracking the recent low, and now we're at the point of watching the intraday low. That was getting wasted. All right. Here. All right, so the trend line, obviously, that is just a longer running trend line that we have from Thursday to Wednesday. The box is the high and the low of post-market and pre-market, and then obviously right now, maybe I should mark out the intraday highs and lows. We'll make these blue just so they stand out a little bit more. Just so they stand out a wee bit more. A wee bit. All right. I do want to remind everyone, your friendly neighborhood reminder, that we do, in fact, have more reports, more data coming out at 10 a.m. So in about 9 minutes, we popped up, got rejected, did not make fresh lows, but we got dangerously close. We popped up again, put in a lower high. So right now we're in a situation of lower highs and higher lows. We have not broken these lows. We have not broken these highs. This is by definition a lower high because we just took all this shit out. So we have a lower high, equal lows. That's true for the NASDAQ. For the SPY, I mean, it depends what time frame you're on, but honestly, we popped up and we're going sideways. The Qs, we popped up and came back, and now overall, both are kind of just going sideways at this moment. Meta giving back some of its gains. It was up 3%. Now it's up 2%. Netflix is not having a bad day, up 1.4%. We have MicroStrategy continuing to sell off. MSTR is about to have a legitimate technical breakdown. Lower highs, lower lows. We're about to snap this from Wednesday, August the 20th at 325. For those of you who might be trading it, I'll be a nice guy and I'll give you some of those key levels that you might want to be watching on old MSTR. So MSTR 350. Snapping this 330, 320, 315. High vol point is 285. So I'm seeing some plays at 320, 315, and 300. So you might want to pay, but it really did crack all this support. So it had a chance to save itself at 345 and 350, and now it's just falling down the Gamma Mountain. So there might be a little bit of a backstop here at 315. If not, you're watching 300, and then so people are long puts to 320. They are short puts, so that could be the backstop at 315, and then they're long puts to 300. So basically, if you're playing it to the downside, you want it to snap 315, and then you're going to probably want to target 300, at least from the options perspective. But yeah, the fact that it gave up 350 and 345 in the short term is no bueno. No bueno, no bueno, no bueno. All right. Oh, this guy.
8 again.
What's this guy saying? This fucking twat. I think he's the biggest twat. I really do.
Our agency discovered it, Andrew, independent of anyone else. That's what we do
Order
day in and
submitted.
day out. As I said, we received a tip. We only use public documents in our referrals. We only use public documents in order to determine the fraud. And frankly, people need to stop
Order
being so
submitted.
lazy and say, you know what, maybe we should do some hard work and figure out how we root out mortgage fraud, because we can't have another 08 again.
That was FHFA Chair Bill Pulte on Squawk this morning, responding to questions about how he uncovered the allegations against Fed Governor Cook. Pulte did cancel a scheduled news conference for later today. Meantime, the Justice Department has issued subpoenas as part of an inquiry into whether Lisa Cook submitted fraudulent information on mortgage applications. That's according to the Journal a couple of moments ago. In the mix as well, Jim, Stephen Myron's going to get his hearing today on the Hill. Senator Rounds and Tillis say they're not going to consider replacements until this process plays out.
Yeah, I think that there's this on the one hand is,
Order filled.
look, if you're in this position,
$400 on the day. 400 times 20 account, 8K
so what?
locked
Because
in.
it's the Fed, you can't challenge it. And those are two very conflicting doctrines.
8K locked in.
The Supreme Court's going to have to do it. These guys can do whatever they want, but it's up to the Supreme Court.
Meantime, the streets have been scouring markets for signs of worries about Fed independence. It's kind of hard to see at the moment, unless you maybe go for some steepening or something.
Look, I agree. I think that the Fed independence is looked at versus the 10-year. It's looked at versus the big, beautiful bill and how much stimulus there is. But it's not looked at in terms of what the president does, I think in part because a lot of people genuinely believe that if the numbers are weak, the idea that the president wants rates down is going to be viewed as common sense.
Right. Meantime, markets doing okay here. Most sectors are in the green. A couple exceptions. We'll get to more of that in just a moment.
Looks like we're getting an actual breakdown alert on MSTR. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting. All right. So let's see if that reverses. What did I say? 315? 309 is interesting. 309 is interesting. We don't need this. I believe, I thought it was 315, right? 315 is the potential backstop on MSTR. So 315, let's add that alert in. Add alert. What did I say? 315. All right. We'll see. We definite weakness, lower highs, lower lows, try to bounce there, dead cat bounce, snapping this recent low. Could be a double bottom reversal, or it could puke to 315, and then past that, you're kind of watching 304, 300. All right, let's add some proper alerts to this just in case it pukes. Just in case it pukes. All right, like I said, the SPY key level is 635. We're not that close to it. The Q's key level is 560. And when we come back to SPX, the key level is 6450, but the real key level is 6,400. That's going to be the major risk off point for a lot of players, 6,400. So intraday, yeah, you could watch 50 and you could watch yesterday's close at 48, something like that. And maybe we get a puke down to the bottom side of the Captain Condor for intraday stuff. But in terms of swing stuff, 6,400 is going to be massively important. Right now, the MAG 7 Delta Flow, the combination of Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, popped for about the first 6 minutes, has been going down ever since. The NASDAQ, same thing. And then the SPY is the only thing holding up. So right now we're seeing a clear differential between the tech sector and the overall market. The overall market is about to hit a new delta high as we speak, but we are seeing clearly a different flow in the MAG 7 and in the NASDAQ. So as it's, I guess, disjointed mismatch, maybe you just want to do nothing and just wait and see how that actually plays out, because you don't know how things are going to break. Right now, we're basically range bound on an intraday perspective, and we're getting this now because we're getting
Jim, what's on that tonight?
In
2 minutes.
When we're back.
Good luck tonight, Jim. It's going to be fun to get football back. We'll see you tonight, Mad Money, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. When we come back, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. testifying before Senate Finance. Don't go anywhere.
That's a new play right here, 6495. 20,000. It's getting even bigger. So initially we had this call credit spread, the Captain Condor at 15,000, and even that's a bit bigger. It started off at 12, but now a new play is up here at 6495. Once again, this is an under bet. If you're familiar with sports betting, the way you could bet on the total score being under, that's what this structure is. They are betting on the day concluding below 6495. This bet is betting on the day concluding below 6475, and this bet is betting on concluding the day above 6415. So above 6415, below 6475, and below 6495. Those are the 3 weird bets that you're currently seeing on the screen. And like I said, if you want to get this information yourself, you could get yourself a fat discount of 80% off Spot Gamma. pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And then obviously this tool here where I see all the sitting sell orders and the fact that there's a ton of people trying to sell right here. This is called Bookmap. Like that, similar is if you want a fat discount, it's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. This one has a lot of different offerings. So obviously use whatever you feel is appropriate for you in your trading. I do want you to know that I use this tool a lot more for like day trading and scalp trading, just because I want to get in and get out and know where the larger players are based. While this tool, Spot Gamma, it's a little bit different in terms of you're not seeing sitting buy orders and sell orders in the futures market. What you're seeing is like all the live options, whether it's 0DT or swing or something like that. So I like to use the tools together, and it's more dependent on like the type of trading I'm actually trying to do at that exact moment in time. On that note, I know I'm getting a little long-winded, and my apologies for that, but in reality, I'm just trying to kill time till this 10 a.m. report coming out in about 40 seconds. So we are going to get the ISM and non-manufacturing PMI and prices, and we are going to be finding out very, very soon. And then that's going to be pretty much it for the day in terms of scheduled data drops. Obviously, at 10 a.m., starting in 1 minute, we have the hearing for the new Fed governor, who's definitely going to get approved. So you might want to listen in on that, but we have this data coming out very, very shortly, and let's see how things react. Overall, this is our structure. The white box is our post-market and pre-market bounds. The blue box is our current intraday high and low, and then this, I guess, slanted line is going to be our longer trend situation. All right, something just came out, and CNBC is slow to report, but I'm sure Profit already has it. What are the numbers, Profit? Okay, coming in higher than expected, 52 versus 50.9, and then price is 69.2. Obviously, the initial reaction was a pop to the upside, and now.
Subscriptions.
Order submitted.
Quick. The question
Good
is,
Thursday
are we
morning.
going to
Welcome to
snap
Squawk on the
this?
Street. I'm Sarah Eisen with Carl Quintanilla. We are live, as always, from Post 9 at the New York Stock Exchange. David Faber has the morning off. This hour, two huge events kicking off right now on Capitol Hill. Stephen Miron in the hot seat before the Senate Banking Committee for his confirmation hearing to be Federal Reserve Governor, while Health Secretary RFK Jr. takes questions from the Senate Finance Committee on the president's 2026 health agenda. We'll bring you key headlines from both of those hearings as we get them. And we've got two big interviews as well. Best Buy CEO will join us here at Post 9 in a rare exclusive interview to talk about her business, what she's seeing from the consumer right now, tariffs, and more. Also, the CEO of oil services giant Baker Hughes with his outlook for the energy space and his new almost $10 billion deal.
It's been a busy morning for economic data. Let's get some more with Rick
Spy's
Santelli.
still going
Hi again,
flat.
Rick.
Oh, here's our boy Rick.
Hi, well, this is good data. Watch yields climb up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see stocks do a little better as well. ISM, first time look at the August read on the service sector, the important swath of the U.S. economy.
Higher than
and
expected.
The numbers
Order
are good.
submitted.
52.0 on the services index, better than expected, sequentially higher than 50.1 in the rearview mirror. That would be the best since Feb of 25 when it was at 53.5. So this is definitely a solid number. And if we look at prices paid, it's still too high, but we're making some progress. 69.2, a bit lower than expected, definitely lower than the rearview mirror.
Just locked in another one, 542 per account, 20 accounts, 10 grand locked in.
Reads going back to
just took that breakdown trade right there.
So we are making progress, but
we're
very
pushing
slowly on prices paid. New orders, nice jump. From 50.3 final, 51
We're pushing
and
a
change
structural low here from 3 in the morning.
That's the best read on new orders since October
watch
of last
431
year. And finally,
down
on the
here.
employment side,
Right,
after
some
a
buyers
weak
stepping
ADP
in at this
report,
structural
and in
low.
front of the big August
We don't
job,
really need this anymore.
report, comes in at 46.5, a whisker above the 46.4.
We're right here. The 3 a.m. low, the pre-market
and it does
low.
Underscore
Post-market lows down here at 431.
Sub 50 reads on the employment front, which is something the Fed ought to pay attention to. However, even though the employment is weak and the only variable here in shrink territory, contraction under 50, all of the numbers we like are sequentially higher. The prices paid, is 0.7 lower, so we are making some progress. We moved up to 419, almost 420 from the 418 level, and we settled yesterday at 422 and tens. Sarah, back to you.
Okay, Rick, thank you. At the same time, Stephen Miron's confirmation hearing to become a Federal Reserve governor just about to kick off here. Steve Leisman, with what to expect. What will you be listening for, Steve?
Well, Sarah, the president's effort to gain sway over the Federal Reserve already
getting very much hit, folks.
Heads to the Senate
very
today
much
with the
hit.
confirmation
Momentum bearish, bearish, bullish, bullish. So shorter time frame, bearish and bearish, bullish and bullish.
Head on this
bearish, 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 and now okay. So the tech across the board is bearish. We're snapping some recent lows here.
The job of the central bank is to prevent depressions and hyperinflation's independence of monetary policy.
We're making a run. Okay.
Element for its success.
Surprise, surprise. Guess where we just bounced?
Tweet before he
literally right at that post-market low.
Independence. He said, "I can't think of anything more deep state and corrosive of our democracy than democratically unremovable officials at the Federal Reserve tacitly accepting permanently higher
we just tagged that level.
In spite of Congress's
we just took it out.
Instructions for stable prices."
So we just snapped the pre and post-market lows.
Currently advocating rate cuts, even though inflation then was lower than it is now. He's an economist with a PhD from Harvard, studied under Marty Feldstein, and currently serves as the chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, perhaps best known as the principal author of Mar-a-Lago, which called for using tariffs and a weaker dollar from his time at the Manhattan Institute. He also served as in Trump 1.0 as an advisor at Treasury. So citing the ongoing court case surrounding the firing of Fed Governor Lisa
Mag
Cook,
7 puking,
all Senate Democrats on the bank
puking.
committee have asked that the hearing be postponed.
Large players are actually net buyers on the New York Stock Exchange right now,
so that Miron can sit for the September 16th Fed meeting. Not impossible, Sarah, but it could well happen.
Tangential, what you're talking about, Steve, thank you. DOJ reportedly issuing subpoenas as part of the probe into Fed Governor Cook. For that, we're going to turn to Megan Casella. Morning, Megan.
Hey, Carl, good morning. So this is the Wall Street Journal reporting, citing U.S. officials familiar with the matter, saying that the Justice Department has now officially opened a criminal investigation into Lisa Cook and these allegations of mortgage fraud. The Journal saying that the government has issued now subpoenas as part of an inquiry into whether she submitted fraudulent information on mortgage applications. So we knew that this was coming. This had been heavily signaled.
Spy
but so
making
far,
a move
these were sort
to
of
the
referrals
closing
from Bill
value from
Pulte
yesterday,
to the Justice Department, and Justice
643.74.
hadn't
I want to remind you
that we
the
knew
key
of
level is
moved on them yet. Now
635,
there's a
so we're
criminal
not that
investigation
close.
open. These subpoenas have
Not
been
that
issued.
close at all,
There is no
actually.
reporting in this article as to who has received subpoenas at this point, just the fact that they've been sent. The White House responded to me requesting comment on this, just referring me to the Justice Department, and we haven't yet heard back from DOJ on this. But remember, guys, these continue to be allegations of mortgage fraud against Lisa Cook. She did say in a court filing just this week she has not ever committed that mortgage fraud, but we are waiting for the judge to rule whether she can remain in her job as this case moves forward. Guys.
Yep, I've heard the same thing from a senior administration official that there's a grand jury seated in Atlanta and basically issuing subpoenas to the mortgage companies. And that's, to get the information and the documents that the FHFA have put out there basically on this issue of listing your primary residence in multiple instances, which is the accusation here of mortgage fraud. I guess then, Megan, the next step would be what? It would become official if there's an indictment?
I believe that would be the next step, right? If it's true that there is a grand jury already seated, then they would decide whether to move forward with the formal indictment. We would get further confirmation from the Justice Department as to what officially they're looking at and how they decide to proceed. It also depends what the judge decides in this emergency case that they're still weighing this week, that we could hear this emergency order stopping her from being removed. We could hear on that sometime this week, and that could impact things as well. They can move in parallel, but it does matter as to whether or not then she would continue to keep her seat, especially ahead of that September 16th next Fed meeting.
Okay, Megan Casella, thank you very much. We'll, of course, let everybody know as we learn more here, but obviously an escalation here in the DOJ's criminal investigation into Fed Governor Lisa Cook. The story of the day is really about jobs, especially ahead of tomorrow's big jobs report. We got a lot of data today, and most of it does confirm the overall story that the jobs market is cooling. It's not collapsing, but there's definitely evidence that it's weakening. I mean, take the ADP, private sector jobs report. That comes in less than expected. Look at the overall number. Not a great correlation between the government jobs report and the ADP report, but we know the Fed watches it. Fed Governor Waller has cited it before as evidence of a slowdown in jobs. 54,000 private sector payrolls. That's about half, as you can see, the pace of the month before, according to ADP. Overall, job growth is just slowing. And it's taking longer for unemployed people to find new jobs. If you look at where the jobs were in the month, leisure hospitality continues to be strong. You'll hear more from Chris Nassetta, the CEO of Hilton, about why that is later in the show. Construction, good. Professional businesses, services. But if you look at where the subtraction of jobs was, Carl, you definitely see a little bit of a trade-related theme here. Manufacturing continues to lose jobs, down to 7K on the month. Education, health services, trade, transportation, utilities, which was one that stood out to me. And then as far as the wage growth numbers, kind of unchanged for whether you stay at job or switch a job. It's just, it's more evidence that the Fed should be paying more attention to the weakening labor market, which is something I think we got a little bit of a pivot from Fed Chair Powell at Jackson
It's
Hole.
interesting. It's difficult because Beige Book was also yesterday.
It's getting a bit boring. Uh-oh. Did my Chrome freeze? Did I freeze for all of you? Yeah, this froze. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I lost all you guys. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. 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 Is this working? Nothing is updating. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh, it all froze. Mom? Mom? Fuck. I don't know. All right, let me check on my phone. Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thumbs down if you cannot hear me. Am I coming through? Okay, I'm not frozen on my phone, so this is now getting to an awkward point of the conversation. An awkward point of the conversation.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Come on, motherfucker. No, fuck. I almost got my fill there and it just bounced against me. Uh-oh. In my computer lag, I thought I was taking one trade. It's doubled up on the same trade. That's not good. Fuck. I thought I was just getting into one. I didn't realize I was doubling. How did it trade twice in that? Fuck, something fired that. I think in my computer getting frozen, I didn't realize it got into one. I thought I was initially getting into a play. That's not good. That's not good, Tonto. I am in a play at double the size that I should be. You guys have been seeing this all day that I've been trading 3 contracts, and I didn't realize it fired there. That's when my computer was going a little bit funky, and then I wanted this trade, which actually should already be out. Fuck. That's not good. Do I just close it out, or do I just pray? Pray for a miracle or close it out? Pray for a miracle or close it out? We could do the... Fuck. It's double the size. That's not good. That's not where it should be, folks. It should be half of this. It should be half of this. Not good. I need this to pivot like now. Damn it. It was going so well too. I was doing exactly what I should have, but in something getting frozen right there, I didn't realize it was already in a trade, and then the second one fired, and now I'm just getting fucking boned. All of that work, really? That quickly out the window? That fucking quickly out the window? I could cut it in half and give myself a fighting chance and just pray that it turns here. So I cut the wrong trade, and now that I'm like, technically it gives me a little bit more room to run. Fuck, that sucks, dude. That really sucks. A fucking glitch. Dude, I was on fire today too. I felt like I was reading this market like a fucking book. So what I did there is I cut once to give myself more leeway. I cut to give myself more leeway. Just in case it kept going, so it didn't blow out from the unrealized drawdown. But now I need a legitimate move, unfortunately. Yeah, so that was that cut there. Was basically I punted the one trade I shouldn't have. I didn't even know I got into it. You guys have been seeing my trades all day. I've been trading 3 contracts, and then I looked at it and it was 6. But oddly enough, I got rid of that at the worst one. I would have almost been back to breaking, but that's all right. I don't mind it because I still think when you realize you're in a bad position that's double the size it should have been, like the first thing you should probably do is just like calm down. So even though right here I'd be getting very, very close to exactly what I need it to be, I don't mind it because this part of it is luck. For as much as I knew, it could have just kept going. So just to give myself more breathing room, I don't mind it. It's one of those like, aw shucks things, like if only, like those types of deals. But it did give me, I suppose it lowered your emotional state so you could think about it a little bit more clearly. Think about it a little bit more clearly, and unfortunately...
Order submitted.
What? Oh, Icarus just fired. Yo, Icarus is trading. Icarus is targeting pretty much the intraday low. Icarus just fired. That's sick, dude. All right, so this is the actual bot trade, the one on the screen right now.
Order filled.
For what? Why did... What the fuck? Oh, something...
Order filled. Order
Fuck.
canceled. Order canceled.
I don't know what's in what right now. Fucking son of a bitch, man. Something happened in that order that they got disconnected. Fuck me, dude. No, come on. How did that fucking happen? So this one still has a live order? Something, yeah, when the computer got funky there, things got disconnected. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Son of a bitch. How did that happen? So these all randomly got a fill. Fuck. That's all I can say.
Order filled.
All right, so they're roughly back in line now with each other, I think. Fuck, this would have worked too. But Icarus hit. That's sick. 300 per account, not bad. I'm really disappointed that something got disconnected here. Really disappointed. Son of a bitch. That 8, I'm now, how much was I up? Like 500. So that means 500, 1500. So I've eaten 2K into my drawdown, unfortunately. Oh, what just a stupid fucking tool error. That shit got disconnected on the copier. Motherfucker. That's a bummer. Well, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it now. I guess I just got to take it slow and steady. And that's, oh, dude. And they would have all hit too. I would have been up like $1,000 on the day and I could have been done. Oh, brother. 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 If it helps, indicator has a hotkey settings. You could set something like Control Alt F to flatten something instantly without having to worry about using the mouse. Well, the issue was in the glitch where my computer was just paused. It took 2 trades, and I guess it doubled up at some point. And then you guys saw me manage it, which I thought was a smart move, and it proved to be the right move. It's just like, hang on, chill. You're double the size on something you don't want to be double the size on. That's okay. And then I managed it all, but when I updated the order on the lead account, that update didn't get persisted to the other ones. That's the issue. The issue is that the lead account did exactly what it should have done, and the other ones just, it didn't. We are at a key level right here at 50 on SPX, and now do I want to scalp it out? Do I want to scalp out? Because right now, you have a $5,000 unrealized drawdown from your max, but now I was up 500 and now I'm down 1,500, so that's 2K. So now I only have a drawdown of 3,000, so I've lost 40% of my potential drawdown, which is not good. So I'm almost wondering if maybe I go to maybe I drop it to 2 contracts just to try to battle this out and like take it slow and steady until I at least eat back like half of this, like 1,500, you make 750, you fight it back, like, okay, awesome, like that type of a deal. That's where my mindset is currently at. I'm also really stoked that Icarus hit. That worked out really, really well, actually. Really, really well. Oh, fuck. Do I want to? Here's the overall situation. So here's how today is played out. Rewinding to yesterday's post-market, the low value was 430. Pre-market high was 535. So we went from 430 basically up 100 points. Post-market low, pre-market high. We tried to take out the pre-market high at the start of today's trading session. The market quickly rejected it. We popped down. We danced around a lot, waiting for the 9:45 report, the 10 a.m. report. Then we took out a structural low, and then we took out that post-market low right here. We bounced off of it. The way right here, when we pushed the extreme, we came back in. They tried to push it again. I'm like, nope, buyers are stepping in. The buyers ended up proving to be too weak, and then we got hit. And then we got hit. And then we just made another fresh show. So clearly, ever since market open, 5 minutes into the day, we've taken out. And actually, look at where we bounced. We bounced right at this low as well. So just another key technical level, right where we bounced this morning, or just now, where we found that low. So 400 would have been the next psychological target, but we bounced here at 356. Like, we danced around a little bit. So right, that's exactly where we found it. Oh, I'm trying to think of the smartest way without going on tilt to handle my current position where just shit got disconnected. It's so unfortunate. If I take this short here at 40, well, I was going to take it if we flip down, but it doesn't look like we are. We're still, what is this, the 1 minute? We're below VWAP. We're below the super trend. We're right in the EMAs. If we start to fail at 40, if we fail at 40, should I take this short? Should I take this short? That is a short I'm interested in taking as long as we don't bounce too high, because I have to consider my drawdown limitations. As long as we don't bounce too high.
Order submitted.
That's 15 points. That's $300.
Order submitted.
All right, I'm going to take a stab at it. I believe it's with trend. We hit this, bounce back up. It's still a lower high. Mag 7 is puking. S&P 500 is not looking good. NASDAQ is also definitely puking. Momentum-wise, bearish, bullish. So this is actually still kind of strong, and this is kind of strong. So basically, I'm looking for this EMA failure. We were good. We puked. We bounced. I'm looking for this to fail. And then, obviously, if it does puke, that means I got in at a low risk opportunity. And if I'm wrong, I could just use this recent high as my risk while the Nasdaq is clearly weaker. We went up, we puked, we're bouncing a little bit. I'm looking for this bounce to fail. I don't actually know if it will or it won't. I'm just looking at the general momentum. I'm a little bit free. 60. We're trending up. Do I want to kill these orders maybe? This is kind of where we're at. So I don't really need this one, and I don't really need this one. The final one on the screen is that pre-market. So this is the range I kind of care about. So we broke that post-market low at 10.05. We popped all the way up to 70. From 70, we puked 60 points all the way down to 410. That's a 60-point puke. And now if we recover this, so right now we still have lower highs and lower lows, but we're about to, all right, I should kill this order. I should kill this order. We just took out that high. If we only bounced to here about a 2/3 retracement and then puked, I might take a stab at it. But the fact that we just made a fresh high relative to this one, now I have to wait and see where the next low is. Is the next low below this low and we have an expanding pattern, or is it not? So I think it's better for me to pull those orders. Dude, this is going to piss me off so much. Those fuckers. Yeah, just in case there's... See, the SPY is catching a better bid right now than the tech sector. See, right here, 1020 till now, we're seeing the delta on the SPY kind of pop. Yeah, so it basically... potential trend reversal. I don't know. It might be an actual trend reversal. Obviously, one of the evident things to pay attention to is this trend line. It just broke. Somewhat of a similar situation. It might hold. It might not hold. I don't know. Clearly, the SPY was sideways to bearish. The Qs have been bearish, but now starting at 1023, this might be that classic switching from bearish to bullish. And obviously, I shouldn't have a pending bearish order if that is true. Should not have a trending bearish order. Open breaking 550, looking at 625. I don't get why so many people are getting obsessed with that. Like, didn't everyone learn their lesson from AMC and GameStop of that it like will end horribly? Like, we now have multiple pieces of information that tell us what happens when there's a lot of retail traders, like, when I mean unsophisticated, as in they don't have Wall Street resources. Basically, they're using Twitter, following one random guy telling them to buy a stock in a company that is not fundamentally strong, and then they're going to be like caught holding the bag. If you're playing open, obviously, I hope you make money. I don't want you to lose money. Let me just tell you this. If you are up money, at minimum, just set your stop to break even. And if it rides and you're right and you make all this money, awesome, congrats to you. But if you're up a decent amount, just take your risk off the table. Like, turn it into a free lottery ticket play. Like, I don't see the harm in that. A free lotto ticket play. Why not? And like, that's the thing that I see missing from a lot of people trying to chase these high-flying meme stocks is when you're up, at least ensure that you're not going backwards. Like, just like that. You mean like Palantir? Palantir is a legit company, like with a legit business model, a legit management team. It's wildly different. Palantir is an actual good investment, and it's been a good investment. Open is completely different. Wildly different. Okay, how's this flow still looking? SPY had a nice pop. I'm nervous. I'm now a nervous Nelly. I don't know how I want to do this. MSTR is getting hit. Dude, that was a decent play. I threw on an MSTR put. I put this in the Discord today. I'm already up 29%. I'm already up 3K on that one. Literally put into the Discord today after doing the analysis with you guys here. If you're getting now, it's a little bit chasey, but that's probably why get into the Discord. This thing is going. Obviously, as I alluded to this morning, that key level to watch, the first one to watch is 315. 315 is a key options level. 309 and 304 are key technical levels. And then 300 is a key technical, psychological, and open interest level. So basically it goes 315, 309, 304, 300 flat. Those are the downside levels I give a shit about on MSTR. I'm waiting until 10:30 to see what the market wants to do. That's fair. Waiting for the first hour to play out. I think it's completely fair. Kind of like, well, yesterday it happened way later in the day, but we puked and then had a big recovery. Today we puked and we literally just ran right back up to the top of the range on the SPY at 645, and then we're running into an issue. It'll be interesting to see if we take this out. This recent low. Oh. Fuck. If this breaks down, do I want to take that trade? Is this the trade of the day? If we break down the 1027 low, the question is, will that be the trade of the day? We're trying to figure out the quality of this decision before price action gets there, even if it does get there. It might get there, it might not get there. The question is this a double top? We put in a higher low, but we bounce, put in a lower high, and it fails and snaps, and then we puke back down to the intraday low. That is the question on hand at the moment. Is anyone taking that? Are you guys going to take that trade? In the event that we snap the 1027 low, would you take that trade? Obviously, here's a look at momentum. S&P 500 bouncing back bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, and the 4-hour. Hang on, I'm setting up some of these alerts, so I don't know if they're working or not. The NASDAQ 5-minute is now pushing bearish bullish, 10 minutes pushing bearish bullish, 30-minute is bullish, 4 hours pushing. It's very indecisive today. Undecided, I'm long. Well, my question wasn't what you are right now. My question is, what would you do if we take out this 1027 low? This is the question. Taking out 644.57, taking out 670.32. That's the question, is taking out this low. As for right now, I see the argument for going long at 1028 and then risking the 1027 low. I see that. So if you took that trade, I totally understand. If you arbitrarily took the trade down here, maybe you were playing the bounce off the close. That's a tough play because you would have probably been stopped out once already. You probably took the trade here at 1011, got stopped out, re-entered. Same thing on the Qs. You probably took it somewhere around 10-12, got stopped out. So that would have been, if you were just saying, oh, I'm taking the bounce off the close or the high, that's a tough one to do. It's actually a very, very tough one to do. And you probably would have already been stomped out at least once today, making it difficult for sure. Definitely making it difficult. But if for some reason you waited and you're like, nope, I'm going to wait till we take out a previous high as we did at 1023, and then you wait for the next low, the next relative low, you'd be long at 1028. And I like that play, I suppose. I like it because you have well-defined risk. You're literally risking that. And at this point, the fact that we kept pushing, your stop's probably now at worst at break even. So I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that one at all. But we are, maybe they want to test the Captain Condor up here. Remember 6475, that's about $1 higher on the SPY. Looking at NQ, we did break down on the 30-minute Orbo, and we're now pushing back up. Actually, the SPY, so both the SPY and the Qs broke their 30-minute Orbo to the downside. And now if we push the intraday high or low, that's going to be the 1-hour Orbo, also referred to as the initial balance. Also referred to as the initial balance. Huh. We're already the way back. We just bounced 90 points in NQ. We bounced from 410 back up to 500 in the manner of like 15 minutes. That's crazy. Not even. Look at that bounce. Holy shit. Look at that bounce. That is a hardcore. We're just seeing all these weird ass 10 a.m. reversals and funkiness. Like it ended up initially dumping at 10 and then caught itself at 10:17, pushed itself all the way back up. Obviously, for me, I care a lot about do we hold 6457. Right now, the SPY is running into some resistance at the intraday high. For some reason, there's quite a bit of selling at 6464. That's where we ran into it this morning, and now we're once again running into various issues. Looking at the NASDAQ, hasn't fully recovered to the intraday high. We are at another high, a 3-minute high at 510 here, psychological level at 500. Obviously, I care about, really for me, it's coming back to do we snap this 1027 low? Because if we snap that, right here, all morning we've had lower highs and lower lows, and then it pumped and we got higher highs and higher lows. Snapping that low means we actually have a fresh new lower low and another potential trend reversal, as in bearish to bullish to bearish. Right now, the bulls have recovered nicely and swiftly, and we're not necessarily quite seeing signs of it. The Mag 7's not following through as much as the bull camp probably wants it. Of course, this can change on a moment's notice, and it could, whatever, some large trader could place a trade and the delta could completely pop. But just commenting on the current structure, we sold off, we bounced, and now it looks like it's kind of rolling over. But we are seeing, we just got a flow alert. That might be some profit taking here. Yeah, see how the 0DT is the green line on the S&P 500, starting at 1018 up until 1031, so about 15 minutes. 0DT calls were bought. Were they bought to open or close? I don't know. We'll have to check the open interest when it settles today. But what I can tell you is 0DT calls were bought, and now they're being sold, and they're being sold at exactly the level that we hit the intraday high. So that's a smart play. Obviously, we could still follow through if other people continue to be aggressive buyers. But as of right now, that was smart. Like they just played it up to a key level. They got their money and they're moving on with their life. So I completely understand that. And that doesn't really have an implication on do we follow through or not. But I totally get this play. Up, 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 hit a key level, take your profits, move on with your life. Mag 7, no follow through. NASDAQ. Also, actually, decent pop from 1018. Tech is definitely weaker. Tech is definitely weaker. Tech is weaker. All right, well, we got to wait this one out now. I'm so bummed about that $1,500 hit, because really just it eats into your unrealized by so much. SPY, look at that V-shape. Qs. The question is it going to hold? Like underneath, I don't know. It's looking a little sketchy there, my friends. It's looking a little sketchy there. 1 minute. Where's the 500 tick? No. Where's that 500 tick? No. No. Did I lose?
Order filled.
Order. For fucking what? What the fuck is going on? That's not a bot trade. This is my manual account. What the fuck is happening right now? Dude. I don't know where these orders are from.
Order filled.
I can't. You saw me before cancel all the orders. You like before I hit cancel all fucking orders. What the fuck is happening? I mean, I can't complain much. On some of my accounts, not on all of my accounts, but on some of my accounts, it made me like $400. But like that was not a bot order. It was a sitting order somewhere. But you saw me cancel. Something is going on weird today with my shit. What the fuck is happening? All these problems started when my computer freaked out, and I think my shit got disjointed with the trade copier. But I don't know. I don't know how else to prove it. Like, orders, nothing. Cancel all orders. I have no positions now. I don't know. Shit just got all fucked up and disconnected. I'm not going to cry that hard because I was down 1,500 and it made me 400 back. So, like, whatever. Hey, money's money. I mean, I'm going to take it. But Jesus. Delta's still pushing there. Nasdaq's climbing. Mag 7 showing a little bit of life now. A little bit of life. The Qs are above the high from yesterday. The SPY is very much above the high from yesterday. Clear downtrend to a clear uptrend. And now the game is watching the recent lows to see if they hold, if we keep trending, or if it's going to take these guys out. Meta getting a nice reversal as well. Everything started to turn right before 10:20. Netflix didn't even really pull back. Avago maybe trying to fight. Apple not looking so good. Tesla trying to bounce a little bit. Palantir's looking good. Nvidia's having a decent recovery. Microsoft's having a very good recovery. MicroStrategy looks like shit. Coin trying to recover. Hood trying to recover. XRP even catching a bid here. I would say if you're watching this, obviously at this point, I'm watching this key Captain Condor level, 6475, and that is still in play. And then there's another call credit spread at 6495. 20,000, golly. 13,000, 12,000. We'll see how that one plays out. Yeah, I wonder if we're just going to get that grind all the way up there. I wonder if we're going to get that grind. Hang on. I want to see when this super trend breaks. If it breaks. When and if it breaks. All right, I just want to make sure all my orders. I'm freaking out now. I'm basically paranoid about it. Basically paranoid. Look at that pump. Not a bad reversal trade there at 1023. Ripped all the way up to VWAP. You could have taken your profits there. The pullback, the higher low. You could go long at 1028. That rips up. You had another chance to go long here at 1035. Just kind of riding this whole thing up. This pullback was a little scary, but on that recovery, not bad. You're long at 74, risking 62. You're risking 12 points. Your target is like 20. So that's like a 1.75 reward to a 1 risk. That's not bad. Like, we just keep going. We pump, we pull back. We pump, we pull back. We pump, we pull back. The question is going to be on the first time that we can't make a new high, and then really gets interesting if we take out one of these recent lows. But for right now, I'm just watching all the structural highs, and then the lows, lows, lows for this particular pump. Probably a bot system going. Probably a bot system. And we'll just see if how the legs to it. I think it gets interesting if we take out 645. I think it gets interesting if we take out 571, but obviously it's more interesting if we take out this second low. So that's kind of like a warning, and then the second low would be like, oh, yo, like legit shots fired, and we might go from bearish, bullish back to bearish. But I really thought that this pump would have more legs to it up to 75. My base assumption would be that they want to test this Captain Condor character and see how well it either does or doesn't play out. But hang on. Maybe a little bit of a reversal here. 11.
Order submitted.
Did I get lucky as fuck? I already moved my stop to break even because of like the weird shit going on. Actually, let me double check. Okay, so all these orders are actually now right, seemingly. But maybe I'll get lucky. I put my stop to break even, so I'm not digging myself into a hole any further. It already dropped an ATR in my favor. The chance of me getting stopped out right here is extraordinarily high just because of the bounce off of 500. But on the off chance, maybe the 10% chance that this is actually a true reversal and we puke back down to VWAP, I'll be able to get myself back to green on the day. So I already mentally know the odds of me getting knocked out for break even are very high just because I'm that aggressive with my stop. But I had to be because of how much the drawdown already was. I'm just trying to put some skin in the game just in case it pukes, but it looks like it's coming for me. It looks like it's coming for me, but hey, it's a lotto ticket. My stop's at break even, whatever. It is. So if the market tests the iron condor position and it runs, that would create a lot of negative gamma and help the market like a gamma squeeze. No, it depends on how that player reacts to it. It depends if they keep the positions live or not. There's not a guaranteed way in which it reacts, but you can make assumptions of if you were that player and you're starting to get blown out of how you would react, and maybe you could, like, would they somehow hedge it? Would they just take the loss? It's not a guarantee, is because it is going to be somewhat related to how does that, do I want to move it down to 7 and just guarantee some money? Because at least I'll be somewhat making money on this trade then. Granted, that's increasing my chances of getting knocked out even further, but it does sound good to get myself out of this fucking hole that I got into. It's just like, not only are we at the 50 EMA, but we're at 500. That's such an important level. I don't know. Well, am I going to get lucky? Is your boy going to go from being absurdly unlucky to lucky today? Do I get a puke to VWAP? Puke to VWAP? We're at the point of control. Come on, don't recapture 500. There's a lot of buyers here at 90. At 90. At 90. Am I going to get lucky? Probably not. Probably not, unfortunately. It's just, my luck is in the hands of do people defend 500 or not. Do they defend it or not? We'll find out. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the next episode. Oh, part of me is really thinking about just closing this now because I can scout my way out of a $500 loss. Well,
order filled.
Making my decision for me. All right, slowly but surely getting myself out of this. Of course. Fucking top ticks me out. No fucking way, dude. Unfucking believable. Top ticks me out. Well, now just spitefully, I want it to pop it rather than just like do that and drop. But I had to do it because I couldn't. Right here, would it knock me out for break even? Okay, at least I made some money. I don't know. Every $100, $200 I can make, it's closer to getting myself out of the dumb fucking hole that I was in. Why not lock in profits and re-enter? Because what if it trends? That's not the right way to look at it. Lock in profits and re-enter, because what if you would re-enter at a worse price and it trended in your favor? All right, this will be interesting to see if this is actually going to be our first low or high of this particular cycle here. Will this break or will this bounce? Looks bullish. How does something look bullish? Are you saying just because price is going up? What does it mean to actually look bullish? And also, if something even were to look bullish, is that indicative of what's about to happen? Those are all some fair questions you should be asking yourself. Meta's looking pretty decent. Could be a cup and handle, which is exactly why I was trying to not be stubborn about the whole, like, that's why I quickly moved it to break even, just because I couldn't dig myself further in a hole. Couldn't do it. Could not do it. You would re-enter at a better price, but that's on the assumption that it's about to how do you know where it's about to go? You'd re-enter at a better price. What if there is no better price? What if it just keeps going in your favor and you could have been a trend following trader? Like, that's a really weird assumption that it is just always going to be a better opportunity for you to get in. Like, what if that just puked? What if we took out that low and ripped, like, and dumped all the way to the previous low? You don't know. I think a big aspect of trading is you just have to be very honest with yourself with the knowns and the unknowns, and the assumption that you're making right there is no, like, you're going to get a bit, like, how do you don't know. You don't know if you're about to bounce or break, and that's why you should really, really be focusing on your downside risk more than anything else. Thoughts on MSCR getting added to the S&P 500 tomorrow? No thoughts. If it does, it'll go up. If it doesn't, it'll drop. I get these questions a lot, and I don't get the point of them. Like, why? You're trying to predict. You're trying to predict a 50-50 event. Either it does or it doesn't, folks. Like, it's almost a waste of your, like, emotional capital, of your brain energy capital. Like, truly, like, what's the point? Like, even right now, what's the point of asking, what are your thoughts on this breakout or this breakdown? Like, are we going to take out this high first or this low? The answer is you don't know. So thus, why do you fucking care? The point of all of this as an active trader is to react. If you find yourself asking, like, those types of questions time and time again of, like, oh, I think this is going to happen, I think that's going to happen, you do not know. You have no clue what's going to happen with respect to the MicroStrategy. You're not on the S&P Global Committee that decides what's put in there or not. What's the point? You are not when it comes to the SPY and the Qs, you're not a part of the hedge fund or the billionaire who's about to buy or sell and deciding if we break out or break down. You're not that person. So what's the point in predicting? I know that there's a lot of these people who pitch models telling you where the market's about to go, but it's fucking retarded. It truly is. If you fall for that, you have to think about, like, really what you're falling for, because it's some of the most, like, lowbrow, idiotic shit out there. It really, really is. All of price movement is decided by people who are about to trade, most likely after you have a position. So unless you know in aggregate what everyone else is about to do following your trade, what's the point? Like, what is the point? And other people won't do this because, like, financially they're invested in you buying their models and believing this, that, the other thing. But if you ask me, it's just fucking stupid. It's actually really, really stupid. It's all about risk and reward. It's all about risk and reward. And speaking of reacting, I'm reacting to that smack right there. And I'm wondering if I should try to fade this double top. The Mag 7's not looking good. The SPY just took a hit as well. Speaking of reacting versus predicting, I was waiting to see what this, like, I was trying to react to the market when it hit this recent high, and boom, it got hit. This is a great real-time example of, ask yourself, like, legitimately, are you the person who's trying to predict breakouts or breakdowns? Because if you are, I would bet a lot of money you are not a profitable trader, because that's not how profitable traders behave. That's not how they engage with the market. I wish it were that easy. I wish there were a model that, like, just somehow had these magical-esque powers of telling you what other traders were about to do, what other high-frequency traders and market makers, and what Trump was about to put on True Social. But in reality, it just doesn't exist. And why waste your time trying to chase that? It simply does not exist. I got stopped break even before it reversed, still winning trade because I followed my plan in respect to my risk. Retail falls into a trap of expecting winning trade hundreds of %. Yeah. That is a win. I actually fully agree with what you're saying right there of like, nope, did you stick to your plan? If you stuck to your plan, that's a win. And then you're looking to have positive expected value over a succession of a large amount of trades, and you're just doing that time and time again. You're just doing that time and time again. Right now, we're in a little bit of consolidation. And we're waiting. We have recently, at least on the NASDAQ, we have lower highs and higher lows. Consolidation. Which way will this consolidation break? No clue. No clue, no clue, no clue. But as you could assume, I'm about to tell you, it doesn't matter because you could just react to it accordingly. If you like the risk reward of the setup, hey, have at it. But right here, lower highs, higher lows. I'll even draw it out on this one. Lower highs, higher lows. By definition, that is consolidation. If you're attempting to right now predict the breakout or the breakdown, how do you know? You have a 50-50 shot. You could predict it, and I'm giving you the odds. The odds are 50-50 of whether you are right or wrong for this breakout or breakdown. That's the odds. You could take those 50-50 odds, or you could wait for one of those to happen. And if you like the risk reward setup, as in if you're willing to accept the risk and you think you have, hell, even say a 50% chance of hitting the reward, have at it then. Have at it. But this is what you see right here. Lower highs, higher lows, lower highs, higher lows. It's consolidating. The fact that we push in a upward direction to create this consolidation. From a technical perspective, it would be called a bull flag. But remember, bull flags have about 55 to 60% accuracy of actually breaking up. So I know there's a lot of people out there telling you that basic technicals such as bull flags are like the end all be all. But when you actually take the time to study it and see how often they work out, those are the odds, about 55 to 60%. So there is an edge. There is an edge in an upward breakout, but the edge is not as much as social media would have you believe. Social media would have you believe if you trade every single flag setup that you're going to be a gazillionaire and it works all the time. In reality, that is not how it works, unfortunately. I'm there with you. I wish it was that simple. I wish we could just code up a bot, trade every single flag, and just be rich together. But the reason why everyone tries to teach you about flags and then yet they're not all these multi-millionaire retail traders, well, the dirty secret to that is the fact that it works not even 2/3 of the time. But the people teaching you in those videos, they're not going to bring up the stats because they don't know the stats. Unfortunately, they do not know the stats.
Order submitted.
Okay, I took that breakdown. Surprise, surprise, my risk is the most recent low. When I say surprise, surprise, I actually don't mean surprise, surprise, because you guys probably already assumed that. Probably already. Hang on, I'm just setting up. Maybe it's a fake out breakdown. Maybe it's not. I don't know. All I can do is react to the price action as it's shown to me. We had lower highs, higher lows. We just took out these lows. I took it. If I'm wrong and we bounce back, guess what? With respect to risk reward, my risk is up here. My reward is all the way down here. We fall all the way back down to 570.25, 570 flat, or maybe even all the way 569. Here's my risk, this distance right here. Here's my reward, this distance. On this one individual trade, is it going to work for me? I don't know. I'll tell you better in a couple minutes. But in terms of a system, is this a good system? Shorting a breakdown, a flag breakdown at a previous established level? Yeah. Will this particular one work? I don't know. But as a system, doing this type of a trade time and time again, yeah, I don't even have to be that right to pay off the losers. Like, even if I'm right 1 in 4 on this type of a setup, I'm going to be net profitable. And I don't think people are really, they don't really approach trading in such like a mathematical, systematic way. But in reality, the only retail traders I've met who are net profitable, that's exactly how they're approaching it. That's exactly how they're approaching it. Oddly enough, if I was still in that original trade, the one where I like aggressively set it to break even, I'd be slightly up right now. I'd actually be a point better than where it knocked me out. I was short at 511. It knocked me out at 507 on a bounce. It's at 507 right now. So if this does puke from here, I'll be a little bit bummed out that I wasn't holding that. But once again, it's the game of woulda, coulda, shoulda. MicroStrategy definitely still representing some weakness. The SPY and the Qs are literally just consolidating. Range bound. The SPY might bounce right here. Obviously, buyers have previously stepped in at 464. Maybe it bounces up. The breakout would be at 469. We're stuck in this 5-point region. Looking at the NASDAQ, I'll go back to the 1 minute. It'll be a little bit more clear. Same thing. I try to play this trend line breakdown right here at 1055. Thus far, it is not looking good for me. But we'll see how it goes. My buddy just started trading, and I forgot how much pain in the fucking ass PDT was. Well, that just means they probably shouldn't be day trading. Especially, okay, so first of all, I should start this off by saying I fully agree pattern day trading is stupid, and actually it is currently being heard by the FINRA committee to get rid of it. So maybe soon we're not even going to have to deal with it. But also, simultaneously on that note, remember, the shorter your time frame when trading, the more difficult it is to be successful. So out of all of the earnings reports and breakdowns from brokerages who have all the data on all their traders, your odds of success increase with your time frame. So we're in this situation where newer people, as in new to the market, novice to the market, who because of the fact that they're new, just don't know what they don't know because they're new to the market, are actually attempting to trade in the most difficult environment, short-term trading, which is only going to impact you if you're day trading. That's what pattern day trading is for. So as much as I think the rule is stupid and I truly believe it should not exist, I would also argue that as a new trader, they shouldn't be day trading anyway. And if they are day trading, they should be doing it on a paper account as in not real money account, just to, I don't know, increase their chances of success. It is a very, very dangerous game. A very, very dangerous game.
Order filled.
I just got tagged out on that high. Fuck. How bad's my account? Back down to exactly where I was. Son of a bitch. And now, yeah, dude, is this going to really, honestly, is this how we're going to play today? It's going to perfectly tag me out. I put my stop right above that high. So anyway, the pattern day trading thing, like I said, I don't think it should be a regulation. I don't think, like, hey, if someone wants to do it, they want to do it. And that's their prerogative. And I don't think there should be a regulatory body that stops them from doing it. But also, just in terms of the stats, facts, and figures of it, people shouldn't. Especially if you're new, you shouldn't be day trading. And if you are day trading, it should be like little scalp things, or it should be selling premium. But there's a lot of people who are thinking that they could like come in and swing a position all day and they're going to crush it every day in this like fucking specialty model, blah, 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 blah. We've seen it all before. And yet, as much as people try to talk about how amazing they are on it, we're missing we're missing a high amount of the people who allegedly are multimillionaires. A lot of people talking that fancy talk, but when it comes to actually seeing their reports, they get oddly silent. Oddly silent. Netflix getting Netflix breaking out at 1250. That's a big open interest level. Congrats if you played it. I completely missed Netflix, but it's looking good. A little fake out breakdown there on Tuesday the 2nd, breaking this high. Next stop, technical high at 1277. I wonder if there's going to be follow through. I currently have no position on Netflix. I currently have no position on Netflix. Fuck, dude. I am myself getting so pissed off and tilted ever since that fuck up double trade and then the fucked order. Actually, the second fucked order actually kind of helped me though, so I suppose I can't cry about that too much. I can't cry about that too much. SPY is holding. We're very rapidly. Oh, SPY's there. Mag 7's flat. So even though the price is going up, the Mag 7's not really following suit. The NASDAQ, kind of the same thing. Even the SPY now, the flow is... I would be very careful on trading this breakout high for two reasons. First of all, easily could get rejected right here at Captain Condor. Speaking of which, Captain Condor is still there, and then there's another call credit spread at 95. So 75 and 95, but we're getting very close to this 75. And as we're getting close to this technical level and important market making level, we're noticing there's no follow through, at least at the moment, on options flow. There's currently no follow through there. So as much as it's generally silly to chase breakouts to go long at intraday highs because you're risking top ticking, this environment, especially as we're getting close to 11 here, seems uniquely dangerous just because I'm not seeing that options follow through. No options follow. And even this, are we just talking about a fake out breakout here? A little fake out breakout. Things are just, I don't know, it's really actually a big lack of movement right now. A large lack of movement. I wonder if they're going to come right back in. It would be easier if they just ran it up here and then we got clearly rejected and then the markets turn, like in terms of data. But to go short now, that's kind of dangerous because this thing could still go another 8-9 points right there without much of a struggle. So it's like, it's a tough short. It's also a tough long. It's a tough long because who wants to go long at the high of the day? It's a tough short because we're not really at resistance. I suppose if you had more leeway, you could take that short, but it's still like, why take on that risk? And I can't because I'm getting that one trade just really fucked me up. Where did that come from? And then those random ass sitting orders, and then even the other orders, the orders that some of them got filled and some of them didn't. I swear. Fucking order management data issues it's gonna be the death of me. It's gonna be the death of me. 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hour, all bullish on the S&P 500. NASDAQ 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, 4 hours pushing right now. Technically won't close the bar for another 3 hours, but if it were to close right now, that would also be bullish. So from a momentum perspective, we started off bullish, we pushed bearish, and then we recovered. So momentum wise, it is bullish. Options flow, the Mag 7 does not look that good. The NASDAQ is actually showing a little bit of life right now. The SPY does not look good. It did for a bit there have a nice recovery. There's no follow through. I get that price is trying to follow through, but options is not agreeing with it. So that is beyond just like the logical reason of you shouldn't be going long at the high of the day for day trading, just because at a certain point, if you're going long at the high of the day and you keep trading that way, eventually you're going to be the person who buys the top of the day and you top ticked it and you blow everything out. So from a risk reward perspective, if you're going long at the high of the day or short at the low of the day, by definition, you are taking on max risk, which is never generally a good idea. Well, hey, maybe that's your style. And if it is, whatever, I guess all the power to you, but I wouldn't do that, especially in an environment where I see no options following through. Even the NASDAQ right there. What do we have? How are we looking over here? Oh, wow. That just ran into a clear player at 38. Wow. There was a lot of people trying. It ran right up to 38 and then it got dumped. So at first that player, some players were here at 30, more players were at 38. And then there's quite a few at 550 and now we're getting hit. What the fuck? What in tarnation? Well, I have never. All right, turning a little bit here. Is this the high? We're going to be finding out. MicroStrategy not looking good. Meta holding. Netflix holding. Avago holding. Apple not looking the best. Tesla not looking the best. Palantir had a nice push, potentially giving it back now. Nvidia trying to hold, looking a little weak. Microsoft did push. We'll see if it can hold. It's turning now. MicroStrategy is looking weak. Coin is just holding. Hood is attempting to hold. Bitcoin's getting hit, I guess, right now. Bitcoin down to 109. Texas Roadhouse holding. Solana getting hit. Ripple was getting hit. Bounced. Maybe a higher low. Oil's at 63, climbing up. Gold's taking a bit of a breather after hitting a new all-time high. VIX was up a bit. Now we're getting hit as the market climbs higher and higher. ETH, we'll see. We'll see. The Qs are literally just chilling at the high from yesterday. The SPY is hanging out just below Captain Condor. It's on it. Like, if you have no position right now, I think this is extraordinarily difficult to represent a trade in either way. It's dangerous to short because they might want to push Captain Condor. It's dangerous to long because things are starting to weaken. If you did long, you'd want to be just like really, really stringent with your risk here. Like, you'd want to use just a recent low and just be like, all right, I'll take a stab at it. And maybe you get lucky and it pops from there, but it reverses on you because, once again, we are not seeing follow through in options. Obviously, there might be follow through at any second, but you would want to be, as always, very, very intentional with your risk. Very, very intentional. And I'm at the point where I either need to wait for like an EMA crossover to the south side, or maybe even like a super trend breakdown. Maybe I'll take that trade later. Today is day 2 of my systems outperforming my own trading. Granted, my own trading, I think I would blame it a little. Dude, I've eaten up half of my drawdown. Fuck me, dude. I need a miracle trade to be able to survive this one. This is getting dangerous. I need a fucking miracle trade. A miracle trade. But I'm just not seeing this setup. I guess hopefully I could at least be patient enough to wait for this. Patient enough to wait for this. I cannot believe this is how. I mean, these accounts should be up like $1,000 each, and everything just so quickly devolved today. So rapidly devolved today. That was, I got caught up in this, the little fake out breakdown. I might wait for the EMA crossover. That doesn't seem like the craziest play. Even this. It starts to snap 20. Seems like somewhere between 500 and 520 is where it could get a little bit interesting. VWAP is 86. VWAP is 86. And we ran right back up to those pre-market highs, and we're already seeing some weakness right here.
Order submitted.
Or did they lay a successful bull trap? Fuck me. I feel like I'm just pushing this for no reason. Do I do the same thing? Not risk putting myself further in the hole? But see, if this happens, it's just increasing my chances of getting stopped out. Like, that's going to be the trade-off. I'm increasing the odds of me getting tagged out for seemingly no good reason, but it also stops me from going further in the hole, which maybe right now should be my emphasis, but even this is coming from me. When in reality, if I gave it a little bit more room to breathe and use this recent high, 35, or even this breakdown bar, but then that's risking putting me further in the hole. So, I mean, this is just silly self-inflicted wounds. Is like, I would have higher chance of making money if shit just didn't break earlier. But right now, because shit did break and I necessarily didn't handle it the best, I could have been a little bit faster. I now have to right away protect myself, increasing the chances of getting wicked out because it's just so close to the current price. But it's probably the thing to do. If you guys were asking me if you had the exact same trade setups and account issues that I'm having today, this is the move, because when you're in a hole, the first thing you do is stop digging. So it does require you to get a little bit lucky, as in it doesn't revert at all. And then if it starts to break down, 90, 80, 62. Maybe I just go for it. Where's VWAP? VWAP is 87. 80. VWAP is 87. So I could try to collect at VWAP right here and then keep this last one just at break even and then run it and see if I could catch a fresh new trend and get myself out of this fucking hole. Honestly, I'm even thinking about going, yeah, here. Okay, so no matter what, I'm locking in some money. Back to that 11 level. That's where I was initially short. That's funny. Even though it may stop you out, keep your spirits up. You can always trade again. Plenty of ops. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Is like there's always more opportunity, but to take advantage of the opportunity, you have to at least have an account. So that like has obviously a concept of account preservation. So you're right there of just saying like, okay, for you to even potentially improve your overall situation, you have to at least be playing. To be playing, you have to have a live account. So that's like, I think that's a good point. That's like a healthy mental framework to be like, okay, for me to improve, I at least need to have a fighting chance. To have a fighting chance, you at least need to have an account, which means you have to be hyper protective of keeping your account. And right here, whatever. Like I said, high odds chance this knocks me out, but maybe I get lucky with a vomit and it pushes. It didn't make fresh lows, but is this a little wick low push higher? We've seen this before, actually people going long right there off of a key level, risking this. So because I know that's a play that even maybe I would be interested in, that's why I'm being uniquely protective here. And it looks like it's about to knock me out. But hey, I made some money getting myself out of the hole a little bit. And if it fails, guess what? I could always get back into it. But I fully understand the mindset of people who just went long right there, because we swept these lows barely. You have the protection of 500, you have the protection of VWAP. So for the people who went long there, because I completely understand it, that's why I was so aggressive with moving my stop. And like I said, I improved my situation a little bit, but I've been on the other side of that trade many times before, where I would have gone long right there, be like, hey, I have VWAP, I have 500. Overall, we're trending up, like yada, yada, yada. Like literally the amount of times that I've executed that trade is exactly why I figure, you know what, why not move your stop a little bit into profit right there. Right there, right there, right there. And hey, if this fails again, guess what? I could always get back in. But if this is just a fake out and a continuation to the upside, at least I'm not involved. And if anything, I actually got money there. So slow and sure. People don't have that much control to what? To stop doing dumb stuff? Well, most days I would say that I don't have control to stop doing dumb stuff. What are we doing here? Lots of sellers up at 50. Lots of sellers. 48, 50. Looks like they're really focusing on 49. Lot of sitting sellers at 49. We just got to bounce off of we overshot the point of control. We undershot VWAP. I totally get that buy, which is why I didn't even question moving my stop to break even when I saw we were coming to VWAP. And even right now, I'd be down and it would be hurting myself. So like I'm actually happy with the move. And granted, you probably shouldn't be Monday morning quarterbacking because we could have easily just vomited. But seeing this structure, see how we swept this low, buyer stepped in right away. It's a low odds, a low risk, high reward situation. Because if you go long at 500 on this reversal, the right side of the V, your risk is nothing. It's 7 points and you're already up 30. That's like a 4 RR return. Because I've done that trade so many times, I fully understand it. And also you could argue the overall momentum on the day is up. And granted, this is going nothing but up, directly up. That's actually kind of fucking crazy. So that worked out really, really well. But being on the other side of it, the fact that I was looking at him saying, damn, like I bet people are going to go long right there. Hey, helps you protect yourself a little bit. Helps you protect yourself a little bit. But now the question is it going to be shoulder, head, shoulder? Is this just going to get smacked again? I do want to point out that there's a lot of sitting sell orders here at 49. A lot. Granted, that's 15 points above, but a lot of people are looking to dump a point before this psychological level right here. 49, 400 contracts are currently waiting to be sold right there. That is wild. Wild, wild, wild. And we're at the top of that. So we almost broke down, found support. So equal lows, currently having equals highs. ETH is getting hit. Bitcoin's getting hit. MSTR is getting hit. So equities, there's almost a rotation from crypto to equities. How's small cap looking? Small cap's just flat, so not really doing anything, but crypto's definitely taking a hit right now. Fuck. That was probably a nice entry to go short at 110, risking 112, not even 2%. Play it all the way down to 105. That was, if you took this breakdown trade, that was impressive. That was definitely an impressive trade. Crypto not looking the best in the short term. Not looking the best. Equities, intraday, having a nice recovery. The daily chart, the question is, how much does it really matter? Look at that bloody sweep right here. 11-11. The bulls got their wish granted. It swept the low. It swept the low. It swept the low. And it bounced anyway. They just got saved. They just got saved. Intraday high is up here at 48. Tons of people selling at that high. They're basically trying to play this recovery all the way back up. Bitcoin getting fucked, dude. Netflix looking good. Meta looking all right. Avago. Apple's getting hit. How are the Qs looking this good when Apple's getting murked? Is it because of Microsoft? Nvidia? I don't know, dude. Microsoft is up 0.4%. Apple is down 0.55%. And Nvidia is kind of... I'm really surprised that the NASDAQ is performing like this. Is it Amazon? No. Is it Tesla? No. Is it Google still? No. What is the big tech play that's keeping it alive? Meta's not even really push, like AMD, Avago. I'm not seeing a tech play that's really pushing this higher. No. Microsoft's looking fine. Apple is undoing it. Nvidia's flat. What's the major tech play keeping things up? I can't find it. IBM's way too small of a company. Meta's not pushing. What are you talking about? Meta's been flat since 1040. Are you guys intentionally trying to recommend wrong? What do you see Amazon doing? I feel like people are putting in guesses without even taking a second to look at the chart. The NASDAQ, I guess it's all the underlings. It's the little guys in the NASDAQ keeping the show alive right now. Netflix isn't that big of a company. I mean, it's helping it for sure, but percentage-wise, it's gone. What percent is this? 1%? Netflix is up 1%. I mean, it's not hurting it, but obviously, like something like Apple is going to have a much bigger influence, and Apple has dropped 1%. So the 1% from Apple is way bigger of an impact than the 1% up of Netflix. Shorting the SPY, getting my sack smashed. Well, I don't know what your time frame is. Intraday, yeah, you're fighting the trend. You shouldn't be fighting the trend. But if it's a swing position, I would actually argue that today really doesn't matter. I would argue what matters is actually tomorrow, very much so, due to the non-farm payrolls report. Wow, that was definitely a fake out breakdown. Jesus. All right, well, things are really, really slowing down now. Dude, fuck. Today was shaping up to be such a good day. And then I just got fucked so quickly. Q's almost made a run for their intraday high. Mag 7 flow is flat, actually starting to tilt down, even though prices... Something is mismatched underneath, folks. I just want to let you know that something... There's fuckery afoot. Mag 7, no follow through, price up. NASDAQ, quite a bit of follow through. Longer dated, sorry, 0 DTE call buying on the Qs. That's that on the NASDAQ. And then more so put selling. People are selling puts on the SPY. Yeah, I think everyone's just awkwardly waiting for this Captain Condor level to get tested. Awkwardly waiting. Set an alert on that potential rejection breakdown. Set an alert on this potential. Don't need this one anymore. We are on top. We went from below the post-market low to above the pre-market high. We just tagged a new high. We're running into a little bit of resistance, but also, I don't know. We're just really at this gamma level. Is that player still alive? Yeah. So we have the call credit spread bigger. It started off at 12. Now it's at 15,000. And then we have another call credit spread about 19,000 at 95. So if you are bullish, attempting to play it past this is just statistically not a good move. That's a lot of resistance. So probably good areas to scale out. Of course, it could break through based on new plays, but I don't know. You have big resistance at 75. As of today's trading session, you now have big resistance at 95, and then there was always resistance at 500. So for the question, could it go? Yeah, of course, anything could happen, but we're here to try to make like statistically smart plays, not just degenerate plays. We're like, oh, well, it could happen. Like, no, that's not what we're here for. So momentum wise, price action is bullish. Options wise, it's concerning. There's a clear mismatch between what we're seeing in price today and what we're seeing in options. And it just makes me think that this intraday push is running out of steam as the market is very awkwardly waiting for to just see how price directly reacts to, once again, the Captain Condor level at 75. And then there's another call credit spread at 95. Is this going to break down? Oh, brother. Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Oh, brother. It's holding, though. I mean, are we just setting up for an afternoon puke? Is that the play? Hear me out. Is the play do nothing, wait for resistance to get hit, and then if it is hit and actually is rejected at resistance, go short? Is that the... What did we just do? We just made a fresh intraday high on the SPY. I don't even know why I had that alert set up. That was a silly alert. And the Qs are... So NQ already hit an intraday high, and then the Qs just followed suit. But anyway, in terms of, is that the play? And then is the play waiting for this? And then if rejected, taking a short, And then if not rejected, doing nothing. Is that the smartest play of the day? How are NVIDIA options looking? They're not doing anything. Tesla's not doing anything. Palantir's actually getting hit. Microsoft's looking bullish. Apple's looking bearish. Netflix is looking bullish. MicroStrategy is all over the fucking map. Meta, kind of bullish. Broadcom, bullish going into earnings. AMD, bullish. Robinhood, bullish to now flat. And then the Russell 2000, a little bullish, but more so flat than anything else. Big mismatch. Big mismatch on whatever in the fuck is happening today. Did we take that out? Okay, we took out this big level at 49, and now there's a lot of sellers up here at 65. Wow. Wowzers. Wow. Yeah, I guess at this point, watch 65. Some support's coming in at 45. Watch that. But that's an important level. I think what's more important is literally what we're seeing on the SPX right now. We're at the first call credit spread. Maybe this player just so you know, they did get busted up yesterday. By the end of the day, the call credit spread did get busted up, but there is some evidence to suggest that most of the money was taken off the table around 2 p.m. So they really didn't lose that much, if anything. So even though the initial play posted was busted up, it looks like it was more so managed at 2 p.m. So they still probably got most of their money. As of right now, this play has not been managed. This play is very much alive as of 10:20. And it's about to update in another minute, and we're going to see if they're deciding to do anything. We're going to see here. We're kind of getting to some levels that suggest, all right, like oh, dude, that's some nice breakouts too. What's the next level? The next level up is all the way up here. Jesus, 650. That's quite the push. Even ES here. 491. Yeah, we're wicking out some highs. Now the golden question is there going to be any follow through? So we went from little bullish to medium bearish to clearly bullish. That's the intraday play out. Right now on the daily, it's halfway. We pumped, we dropped. We're probably 2/3 up, but it really doesn't matter with respect to the fact that we have to wait for the jobs numbers to come out tomorrow. We haven't made a fresh low on the Qs, but we have made lower highs. So that's like questionably bearish, like from a big bullish trend. Like, is it switching? Well, right now, the SPY is still clearly bullish. Higher highs, higher lows. Has not made a lower high and has not made a lower low. So still dominantly bullish. Oh, fuck a duck, dude. You know? Fuck a duck. Is it that simple? Is it really as simple as just short? Like, was that the play? 11.29 short, risk that high. At this point, you're already up 1-to-1. There's no way they would have made it that simple, right? Right? The market makers aren't known to make trading in our lives generically that simple.
Order submitted.
I'm taking a stab at it. I don't know what they're going to do. SPY, all I could tell you is there was a lot of profits just taken right there. Calls got dumped. It hit a key level. I'm risking not even the high. I'm risking, I don't even know what the fuck dude, I don't know what I'm doing. 36. If it takes out 20. I want to do the same thing I did before and quickly move my stop to break even, but right now it's only 3 points away. I can't feasibly do that yet. Fuck, I hate this setup. Well, no, I don't. I love the setup. I hate where my account's at, the status of my account. If I wasn't such a fucking schmuck, this would be a good trade. I could just like really risk this intraday high and set up the reward and then walk away. Oh, I could. Instead, I have to trade with very, very, very statistically unlikely tight risk. Well, super trend just flipped bearish. We're getting an EMA over crossover on the 500 tick. Super trend is still bullish on the 1 minute and has not crossed over on the EMAs. So this is still showing bulls are in control. This is showing a potential reversal. So who's going to be right? Who's going to be wrong? VWAP is all the way down at 90. I'm setting up my targets as even if I have a shot when this is about to fucking tap me out. Is this going to be the second time today they sweep the lows and run it back up? I'm fighting the overall trend, dude. I'm trying to fucking make lemonade out of goddamn stones here today. I'm fighting an uphill battle for seemingly no reason. 36. It did go 1 ATR in my favor.
Order filled. Order submitted. Order submitted.
Fuck. I just threw a trade on the other account as well. The smaller account, which probably isn't my smartest move, but whatever. First target is 25 because I see people are also trying to buy there. What is that? 25, 22, somewhere in here, hopefully. There are still those sellers sitting at 49. I was hoping to get a fill. Once again, I lined that up with this right here, these buyers. I almost got that fill for a second. Fuck, that sucks. Double bottom? No, fuck, dude. Well, that's a bummer. 49. All right. Looking at how this is, I'm going to use these guys as protection and just pray that they hold. At first, my stop was under it, but in reality, like I said, I'm using these guys. Someone's trying to dump 208 contracts at 549, another 32 at 50. So I'm attempting to use them as protection. And if they get blown out, I probably also get blown out. And honestly, on a day like today, I probably somewhat deserve it. Come on, at least on this one, I'd be very, very defensive. If this locks in, I'm moving it to the recent one just because these accounts are actually still fine. So I don't need to go fully tilted here. Just let me lock in. Come on.
Order filled.
All right, so I still have one. All right, let me just put in my protection. What am I? I'm at 33. What am I? I'm short. Buy, stop, market.
Order submitted.
36. All right, so I am short at 33. My stop is at 36, so I'm risking 3 points, even though I just locked in 8. So overall, this will be a net profitable situation for me for these 5 accounts. So playing these a little bit more defensively, just because they're the 50K accounts, and I'm still doing. You know what? Fuck it. Okay, it's a freebie play now. Freebie play on these 5 accounts. Freebie play. So if it goes, it goes. If not, whatever. It's a lottery ticket. But really what I'm trying to do is salvage these accounts that I have just been getting my fucking ass handed to me on. Okay, so I was praying that when I switch back to this screen, these guys would move it down, but they didn't. And these guys are sitting at, there's some people at 512. All right, so this account, once again, just to clarify, I'm short at 33. My stop's at 33. I already locked in some points, so this isn't going to hurt me. Technically, it's hurting me in terms of the unrealized drawdown, like whatever, blah, 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 blah. But hey, I guess I'm trying to just not even worry about that. And I went from 300 to about 450, locked in another, like whatever. These are just, it's coming for me right now anyway. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll turn first. Seemingly finding support at 17. Rare. I don't know what the fuck it saw there. I was expecting a bit of a bounce off of 12 because these guys were here. Right here. This is 512, but we bounced 5 points earlier. This is still the main. 549. Some people just 35. Come on, keep dropping it. This game of picking the top is generally a losing fucking game. Generally a losing game. Fuck.
Order filled.
All right, that account stopped out for break even. Don't mind it. Lottery ticket play. I get stopped out for break even 2 out of every 3 times, so I'm not going to cry over that. It is what it is. It is what it is. You son of a bitch. Seriously? That fucker. All right. At this point, I can't. Same thing. Risk is break even. Damn. It just fucking, like, come on. Literally perfectly to the tick. Is it going to go for the other ones too now? Fuck, dude, I can just not catch a trend today. For like the fucking life of me, I cannot catch.
Order filled.
Knocked out a fucking again. Which, like, I don't mind it because it's defensive, but like, there's just no nice fucking trend. It didn't cost me money. That's like the joys of trading futures and no pattern day trading is you can take all your risk off the table, which is exactly what I did. So to clarify, didn't cost me money. But geez, like we are just not getting any nice movement here. There is just no fucking nice movement. Did these guys ever move? They're running into a bit of an issue right here. These were 49. They lowered it to 39. They lowered it by 10 points. Huh. Why did they do that? Why did they go from 49 to 39? Why did they do that? SPY just got hit. Mag 7 actually popped there for a second. It found support right at the high from yesterday. The Q's there. Support right at the high. Apple looks bad. Micro. I don't see what Netflix is still going. That's probably the belle of the ball today. Avago. Tesla. Tesla's picking up. Catching a bit of a bid. Up 0.5%. Apple. I don't know. It feels like I have a bias to the downside today, which makes sense because I am swinging puts and I'm trying to force my bias into the intraday action, which is not smart. Not smart. Not smart, not smart, not smart. How's the Mag 7 looking? It did pop, now going flat. SPY popped, gave it back. Feels like everything was going somewhat well until some of my order issues. And then I got pissed off and got a bit tilted. If I really had to pinpoint where shit started to go wrong, that was probably it. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree that everything was going just fucking dandy? Oh, I just feel like if this can actually snap 500, we have a good shot of like a nice reversal to the downside, but it's getting to that point in the day where it's fucking lunch and probably shouldn't be trading during lunch anyway. But just, oh, they're trying to sell here again at 50 now. Look at this fucking mess we have going on. This godforsaken mess. 43. Is this going to be a higher low? Or are we going to actually fucking snap here? Tough tell. It did push, but it cracked recent lows. It's that weird indecisive setup. Indecisive. I feel like I'm doing dumb shit. We're just continually getting sucked back to the EMA. We push up, we vomit down. We vomit down, we push up. We push up, we vomit down. It's just all roads are leading back to the exponential moving averages. And we're battling it out at that high. So it's into like, is it holding this or not? Fuck, your guess is as good as mine. One super trend is bearish, one super trend is bullish. We're literally at the one EMA. Folks, it's a non-trending day, unfortunately. It is a non-trending day. As of now, of course, at any given moment, there could be that amazing entry, but snapshot. I fear that I'm trying to fucking... Like, before I try to take a short, and that fucked me too. If only I just quit at like 9:40 this morning. All right, let's snap this. Let's take out some of these recent lows. See how this overshot where I was. I was refusing to go red at all, which is tough. While in reality, if you weren't down and you gave it some room to breathe, you're here and yeah, you were green, then you were red, now you're green. But the point is that you give it a chance to breathe, like a fine wine. You let it kind of play out, and you could be not knocked out by noise. And hey, whatever. If you want to take on less risk, you're going to put yourself at risk of getting knocked out due to noise. Shit happens, dude. Shit happens. Dude, you're not reading the undecided candles correctly. I know. I haven't paid for that course yet, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I've not been able. That's all bullish. That's all bullish. This is definitely a lower high, though. Definitely a lower high. But we also have higher lows here. So kind of waiting for this to snap or this to snap. And until then, hello consolidation. Hello consolidation. Don't forget, today's the last day you could get the Spot Gamma Flow Patrol for free, and you could also get access to the entire tool suite for 80% off, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. And then Bookmap, that's this tool that I'm using right here to see all the sitting buy orders and sell orders. Very useful for a day trader, for a scalp trader, so feel free to check that out. We just got this trend line breakout, potentially. Our bulls making another attempt at 6475, who, as of 11:40, that player is still there. They are getting tested like no other. And then there's a bigger one on top of it at 6495. But no follow through on that whatsoever. That's a little interesting. Yeah. Bearishness, bullishness, now range bound. That's been the story of the day thus far. Nothing. Bearishness, bullishness, range bound. Not much going on. Especially heading into lunch, especially in such a dominant positive gamma zone. That's a lot. That's even more. Fuck, why do I just keep fighting the trend today? I'm having this issue of refusing to admit that I'm wrong on this one. And knowing my luck, the second I say, you know what? I'm done for the day. That's going to be the minute it actually pukes and trends down for the rest of the day. So that's going to be my luck on the day, without a doubt. As it always is. Is this shit? What time is it? It's literally 11:50. We might be stuck in this purgatory, team. We might be stuck in a bit of purgatory here. A wee bit of purgatory. A very wee bit of purgatory. Oh God, I hope I don't have any extra pending orders like I randomly did before. All right, got rid of those just in case there were any. A little bit of a trend line breakout, not much follow through on the NQ. Also, a little bit of a trend line breakout on the SPY, a bit more of a follow through for the second time today. Seemingly visiting this key level, the key Captain Condor level, to see if this is properly defended or not. It's not the biggest one we've seen, but hey, worthwhile to note, you know? Worthwhile to note. Fuck, I really have just been, ever since 10:20, Lower highs, lower lows. This push at 1020 took out the recent high. Arguably, this push at 1050 confirmed higher highs, higher lows. Ever since then, I've just been fighting this fucking trend. I don't know why. That's just fucking idiotic. It is idiotic.
Order submitted.
Fuck it. Fuck it. If you can't beat them, join them. If you can't fucking beat them, you join them. Come on. At least lock in one so I could go to break even on this and not feel like such a fucking asshat. Let's lock in. Oh, I just want to de-risk. I want to do another freebie play. Come on, let me lock in and see if I could catch something. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. 55. I'm trying to sell it at the very first rung of sellers. The very first rung. And then maybe I could get lucky and ride this up to 75 and take some of the losses off today. Come on. 55. Right there. I'm trying to sell at the first group of people attempting to sell. You could do it. You could do it. Where the fuck are the buyers? Okay, the SPY just did something. Fuck. The SPY took out the intraday high, and then yet the Qs aren't doing dog shit? Seriously? That's just my luck. SPY gets the pop. Come on, you fucker. Mag 7, nothing. NASDAQ. Okay, the SPY's going up there. Well, we're testing Condor. Is Condor about to blow out? We're literally testing them. We are testing Mr. Condor. We are testing, we are testing, we are testing. What is this? Seriously, it didn't give me that fill. Oh, people started to come in heavy here just below. Looks like you have some serious sellers at 53 now. And then also 55. So some of them dropped it more. And now even to 50. Fuck. What am I long? I'm long here. Maybe I moved my risk up to this recent low. I was just targeting this technical high. That was actually 56. I moved it a point lower. I moved it a point lower. Come on, you fucker. Don't double top me. How's the SPY? Is there any follow through on the SPY? Not really. Come on. It's not puking yet, and it's still tagging this level. This player might choose to drop it soon. Dude, I don't even need it to go that much more. Seriously? Just let me fucking lock in. Come on. Come on. Go, you son of a bitch. I think it's having, yeah, it's running into a lot of sell side liquidity right there. Come on. Come on. How close? No. No. Don't do this to me. Fucking half a point away. You son of a bitch. Fuck. I really wanted to move it up because I thought that was going to get hit. Dude, this has not been my day. This has not been my day. This has not been my week. Honestly, it hasn't even been my fucking quarter. Like, are you fucking kidding me? This is why it makes it so easy to go tilted on this shit. Because, like, you get, like, the way I just did, you get, like, spun up, you're like, fucking, it's like, I'm just not liking, like, you start playing bigger and doing dumber shit and trying to quickly make it back. And, it's such a test of your own mental fortitude to just do the exact same thing time and time again, regardless of the previous results, regardless of, like, oh, you could have got that fill right. Like, literally fucking half a point. Are you kidding me? Oh, and this is beating me up now too. Because there, ideally you lock it in and then stop to break even, as I've already done, like, what, 3 times on this particular show, and take no risk. Would have locked in $200, would have probably been stopped out for break even, but fuck, right there. Which, it actually undershot the level. Like, I had it at 55 where the sellers were. It actually stopped right below. You could see it. Unfortunately, just not enough umph. It wasn't like I was on the top side of it. Like, I was basically placed right there. Fuckers. Those fuckers. They were indeed not kidding him. Yeah, that's how it feels. Oh, the question is, should I just ditch on this now or pray that we do actually get that follow through? So this is the most extreme last low down here at 17, this low. We double topped it. So technically equal highs. We are still getting higher lows. But also the time sucks. It's lunchtime. It's literally noon now. The time is trash. It's in the market god's hands now. This is what I get the first time I stop fighting trend all fucking day. All fucking day. That's not my real target. That one's just, it's there to be there, but I care more about my stop than anything else. I care about the first fill, then I just move the stop up to break even, then the other one's just part of the ATM. That's not, I don't think there's any necessarily thing special at 80, and that's not even necessarily my target. Dude, is this it? The thing I've been waiting for all fucking day. Double tops right here, where I would have gone short on this breakdown at 41. If this ends up, mark my words, if 1159, if this breakdown at 540 ends up becoming the short of the day, where you're risking 15 points and we vomit from here all the way to VWAP, the trade that I've been here with you guys the entire fucking day waiting for, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Dude, it is, isn't it? That was the trade. The one time I switched it up. Those motherfuckers. After trying to fight the trend all fucking day. Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal. That's brutal. But inherently, it's one of those things that it's all exclusively my fault, because I would have never been in this position. I could have let things run the way they should have appropriately run before. If the fucking order stuff. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Just just trying to trade in this chop bullshit. It's such a fucking waste of time. If we could push a little bit here, it will be a higher low. If we can recapture 40, this will be a nice higher low that I could at least de-risk a little. Granted, it's not going to be pretty at all. Not going to be pretty whatsoever. How's the SPY looking? I think this is really actually all coming back to the SPY at, see how it overshot the 75 condor, overshot it again, quickly smacked, but it's not really still, we might be putting in a higher low. I might still have a shot here. If we can continue with this and it actually takes out the condor. So attempt 1, attempt 2, maybe the third time's the charm where it can bust through this level here. If it can just pick up, I mean, it's a tall order, especially because lunch just started. Even this. Yeah, these are both just at key levels. Potential double, triple top rejections at key levels. It's just really, really consolidating for the big break. The big break of the day is going to come. We're either going to smash through these highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. We take out the equal highs and we run. Or this is actually going to break to the downside, and my initial play would have been right all along. All fucking along. Which one's it going to be? Nasdaq flow is not telling us anything. Mag 7 flow is not telling us anything. And the S&P 500 flow is looking as drunk as could be. All right. We're having an issue at 40. This is on the struggle bus right here. There's no big orders really anywhere close. Some people are trying to sell at 40, this recent high. Some people are trying to buy at 22-ish. That one of these orders just got pulled as we're pushing a little bit closer to it. Maybe the smart thing for me is just to move my risk up to 26. I'm in at 46. That's 20 points. That's $400. That would guarantee a shitty loss on the day. That would put me back down to my most extreme of the day of 2,500. I'm really thinking about using this recent low. Because if it snaps that, yeah, it could be a wick, but it also could be the start of an actual turn that here it's going to suck, but it's survivable. The other situation would be like kind of guaranteeing an account blowout, and I really don't feel like buying more accounts today. Really don't feel like buying more accounts today. A rate limit for too many order requests has been hit. Please wait and try again. What the what is going on with my program today? I've never seen that fucking error before. What does that mean? Is my shit... dude, I'm getting errors that I didn't know were errors. I'm getting errors that I was unaware of them being errors. Fuck, do I need to just admit that I'm wrong on this? Is this breaking down right here? I'm getting real close to calling this. Dude, again, it won't let me move my orders. Sick. A rate limit for too many order requests has been hit. Please wait and try. So I can't change my orders now? You son of a bitch.
Order canceled.
I'm having a good day. I'm having a fun time. I, for one,
Order submitted.
am having a really fun fucking time. I know it might not seem like it, but trust me.
Order submitted.
I'm having a really, really good time. I really miss you trading real money instead of this prop thing, which seems to be going south. I guess thanks for your stupid fucking input. Because that's what people want to hear when they're losing money, is how viewers who are risking nothing are not happy with it. That's a really good read on human emotion. I would assume that you are a person with high EQ. I would assume that you are that kind of person who you're probably the charismatic person at the party, you know what to say at the right time, really good at reading the room. So fucking stupid. You just strike me as a fucking intellectual titan. You really, really strike me as just like knowing what's going on. Fed Williams hat tip to the data. I really need to de-risk. I need to do everything I fucking can just to take risk off the table. If this breaks here, I might have that shot. But look at all these sellers. Selling at 56, 53, 55, and then the big, larger seller, I can't call him big, is at 60. It is at 60. I want to move my stop up to break even so I could walk away, and then it's just a freebie trade, and if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I really, really just want to take all my risk off the table. That's my entire plan, and if shit hits, it hits. Come on. Feel if it can just take this out, these guys right here at 560, but it's running into this mess right now, which, like, I get this play. These people are obviously just targeting the intraday high, so I can't blame them. I can't blame them at all. Yeah, that's right where we ran into shit before. Then you have these guys up here at 60. Let's scroll out, see if we see anything else that's more interesting. Not really. Yeah, all morning right here, this 550, 560, just all this junk. This is what it is when the market's fighting for a breakout. It either does or it doesn't. Oh, this is just like toying with me. All right, worst case scenario right now is 20 points. That's 40 points because I have two contracts. That's $800. So my worst case solution to this is I'm down $800, which will put me at a loss of $2,800 on the day, which means that my unreal from the peak high, because I was up 500 at one point, is 32, which means that I only then have $1,800 of drawdown, which is not even half of the drawdown. That fucking sucks. That sucks to, in one day, give up half your fucking drawdown. Also, simultaneously, when that happens and your robot just hits, cool. I could have ended at, and this was actually traded with smaller size. This was traded with one contract. So with one contract up 450, trading 3 contracts down 2K, potentially going to be down 3. Oh, it's going well, team. It is going fucking well. Wow, this fucking blows, dude. We might be going for that extra rip here on Captain Condor. Is Captain Condor getting blown out again? Next one is 95, folks. If we can break and hold above 75, which is what we're testing right now, if this push doesn't fail, your next clear watch level is all the way up here at 95, $2 higher on the SPY. That would put us at 648 if we can actually hold this. If this player is actually going to get blown out. Kind of need to clear 80 first, though. And you clear 80, then you have a clear shot at 95. And even with all of this, I am still getting absolutely fucked. I'm just stuck in range-bound purgatory. All right, well, nothing's happening. Later today on Twitter, I'll post how this trade ends, but I'm done trading these. I don't want to let these go, so they're up 450 each. I'm not trading these take profits. And then obviously, as for this trade, my goal is on this break of 560, to move the stop to break even, so I can take all the risk off the table. So hopefully my worst case scenario is a loss of 1,900. Hopefully the best case scenario is it rips all the way up to 96 and I make money on the day. But that's a big giant if, and I'm not in control of this. All I can tell you is if in the event we see a push and a hold above 560, which I don't know, I'm a little uneasy with this because you have these sellers. There's all these sellers right above and no real buyers below. So if someone chooses to splash the pot, as we're seeing right now, there's really nothing to catch it all the way down till 25. Well, hang on, someone's stepping in right now. But when I first started this, there was no one there to catch it. So maybe some people are going to market order and then we could take these out, but there's definitely clear resistance above. I don't know. Is this a fucking triple top? It is what it is. Folks, check out Spot Gamma, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. Also, check out Bookmap. Spot Gamma, options analytics. Bookmap is going to be used for all those setting orders. They are very, very helpful tools when you're not trading on tilt like me. Later on today, we'll be posting an update video, and then we'll be streaming early tomorrow, not just for Friday, not just for Payday Friday, but for early Payday Friday, unemployment number, non-farm payroll day as well. So we got a lot going down tomorrow, so make sure you get your rest. So good luck with the rest of the day. Unlike me, you probably should not be trading in the lunch session, especially on a day with Captain Condor, all this positive gamma, events coming out tomorrow. Trading midday, probably not where you're going to find your advantage. But I've just forced myself into quite the fucking predicament because I'm a dipshit. Is probably the best reasoning of why, honestly. So it is what it is. That's what I have for you. Best of luck. Respect your risk. Don't trade when you shouldn't be trading. Update video today, later today, streaming early tomorrow, Friday, Payday Friday, non-farm payroll Payday Friday. So I hope to see you guys there. I'll catch you later. Thanks for all the good vibes. Peace.